And we are set to go here. A beautiful day here in Hightstown, New Jersey, and a game that could very well decide the Maple Championship between the Peddie Falcons and the Hun School Raiders. Alongside Mike Agosto, I am Tom Monfiletto, and we couldn't be more fired up to bring you this game. Peddie comes into the game undefeated in Maple competition. Hun comes into the game undefeated overall, and this could be a fantastic game here. For both teams. Mike, I know you've been excited for it. This is a game that you mark on your calendar as soon as it gets scheduled.
I had nothing to do with this game, but I can tell you right now, last night I had trouble sleeping. I've been looking forward to this game all year. I know many people at school here had this game circled. Everybody over across the way in Princeton had this game circled. I think everybody in the state of New Jersey is watching closely, wondering about this matchup. This, in many ways, is the game of the season.
Captains for the Peddie Falcons, number 68, Noah DeHaan, who is headed to Clemson University next year. Keyshawn Farmer, the tailback safety, kind of do everything back, over 900 all-purpose yards this year for the Peddie Falcons. And number 6, Zach Barnard, tight end linebacker for Peddie. On the other side, Tucker Sturzarch for the Hun Raiders. Number 31, Chris Fake. Number 56, Fred Hansard, headed to the University of Florida next year. And number 40, I believe, out there is Dante Diaz Infante, a middle linebacker from Phoenix, Arizona, who missed last week's game against Lawrenceville, but is back and ready to go today for the Raiders. He'll be playing middle linebacker for Hun. A great run game in Hun, a great offensive line, but I don't know if they've seen a defensive line or anybody up front with the skill, the size, and the strength of Peddie. Mike.
Yep, I think that's been our go-to move right there, is to have our line sort of dictate the play. I think that's where the battle could be won early. But also, I think with a bunch of guys going both ways, as you head in later into the game, I'm interested to see how well who can hold up as long as they can. I think that's where you're going to see it, maybe third, fourth quarter, take a turn.
It'll be a battle. It'll certainly be a battle up front. Peddie and Hun both have the philosophies there. If you're going to build a program, you're going to start at the line and then kind of move outward. And they have some excellent college-bound players on both sides of the field here today in terms of Peddie and Hun. So should be a great game here. You do have to mention the injuries that Peddie has sustained this year. They are on their third-string quarterback going in, and starting for the Falcons is going to be Terrell Prince. He is a junior from College Park, Georgia. And also out of the game is their center, Dan Dawkins. Jahan Dotson is going to be out for the year, unfortunately. So Peddie dealing with a bunch of injuries, but they have depth this year for the first time in a while, and I know some guys have been really looking to step up. As you mentioned, Mike, a lot of guys are going to have to play both ways here today.
Yep, but I think, what is great about Coach Maleo is he's always coming in trying to put together a game plan. I think he tries to look at it as, well, you know what, love the opportunity to be missing a few guys and to, highlight the next group of kids coming up, and the next man up is his philosophy. We're going to see it today.
And here's Jaden Blue, who's going to take it down the sideline for a good return, and Peddie is going to start with excellent field position here to start things off inside Raider territory. Hun either does a pooch or a squib kick. They try to get it down to about the 35-yard line. That time it landed in the hands of one of the best athletes on the field in Jaden Blue, and he took it past midfield. So Peddie will start with it in good field position.
You know, Tom, you're going to say that name a lot this afternoon. I think with Jahan Dotson going down, a lot of the pressure and sort of picking it up, the piece is going to come out of that name right there, number 4, Jaden Blue.
And you'll see number 24, that is not a mistake. TJ Ram in the backfield for the Falcons, playing fullback this week. It's the biggest fullback I've ever seen in my life. Here's Keyshawn Farmer getting a great block from Prince. Spins his way towards the middle of the field, and Keyshawn Farmer starts the game off with a first down. He is the best improviser I've seen at this level, and he is an absolute playmaker. Keyshawn Farmer starting the game off with a first down.
That's Philly's finest right there. You're going to see a bunch of that. You're going to see him. He's the kind of player, I think, every single time, just like in basketball, you're like, why are you taking that shot? And then you clap afterwards when they make it. That will be Keyshawn with the running ball.
On the defensive line for the Raiders, you have big number 56, Fred Hansard, number 42, Chris Sumners, Jordan Morris, number 71, who has been a standout player for Hun. And then Chris Fake on the other side, number 31, who is one of the more underrated, under-celebrated players on this Hun defense, but one of the best athletes in the school. He's headed to UVA to play lacrosse. Barnard coming in motion. He's going to go back outside. We'll see what Coach Maleo whips up here, and we're going to have a flag. One thing that you can say about this Peddie Falcon team is they are no stranger to yellow flags on the field throughout this entire season.
Yeah, I think that's been a tough part is they'll dig themselves a hole early on. They'll have a great pay and call that back, and then amazingly though they'll come back 1st and 20 and make some magic happen.
Yeah.
But I think against the Hun Raiders team that can't happen today.
Coach Maleo said this is the most fun week he's ever had coaching, trying to design basically a new offense with his 3rd quarterback on the season. You see TJ Raham in the backfield, and he's going to lead the way. Oh, they're going to pull it, and a great fake by Prince. And this one will go high. It is intended for number 8, Javar Garrett from Newark, Delaware. And Javar Garrett has been a huge part of this Peddie Falcon team, mainly contributing on the defensive side. He plays outside linebacker for the defense, and he is just an incredible athlete with great size. And he is going to be a stud at the next level. That's big number 8, Javar Garrett. Ram is out of the game. They're going to go with 3 receivers. You see Jaden Blue there in the slot, who's going to move now to the outside. Pitch goes to Farmer. We're going to have a flag, and they're going to either bring this one back or they might even decline it because Blue was not set. He was going outside of Tyron Tucker, and he was not set before the snap, and they're either going to, I think it might be a dead ball foul, so they might have to move back anyway. So illegal motion, they're going to move him back 5. So it's going to turn into 2nd and about 20.
Well, if you've been at any Peddie Falcon football games right now, don't be surprised if you see a screen over to number 2 and watch the razzle-dazzle come into play right there.
Yeah, and there is one thing that Chris Maleo is, and that is extremely creative, as he can draw them up with the best of them. So we'll see here what they decide to do. It's actually 3rd and long, 3rd and about 18 for the Falcons. Prince alone in the gun. Here comes Farmer. Farmer's going to take it. He's going to look to cut inside. He's going to break a tackle and move to the outside. Keyshawn Farmer stretches across the 20-yard line. Short of a first down, it'll bring up 4th and about 6, but what an effort by Keyshawn Farmer once again.
You know, Keyshawn Farmer is the recent recipient of Heart of a Lion Award from the New York Giants program, and I have to tell you, if he did not receive that award, I'm not quite sure who would in the state of Jersey.
Yeah, an unbelievable kid. I had a chance to meet him a couple times, just being here on campus, and just a tremendous young man as well. So it'll bring up 4th and about 8. I had kind of overestimated how much they had gained on that play. So 4th and 8 here, deep inside Hun territory. Prince back to pass. He's going to float it up, looking for Garrett. Garrett, incomplete. Ryan O'Gorman, a tremendous play by the vet from the Hun school. O'Gorman making a play to get Hun's offense on the field. So a couple really nice plays by Farmer, but eventually a turnover on downs here, and Hun's offense, which has been rolling, is going to take over now from their own 20-yard line.
Great position by O'Gorman there, I think. Anytime you got a jump ball going up to Javar, you like the odds, but I think Ryan did a great job getting inside position there, sticking with him, seeing the ball in, and breaking that up.
Hun coming out in the I formation, ISO up the middle, a good push by this Peddie defensive line, and Henderson has nowhere to go. Henderson, only a sophomore, just a tremendous all-around back, has a lot of tools that you like to see that will definitely translate to the next level. He's already gotten a lot bigger and stronger this year, and he's just an excellent back for this two-back system that Coach Smith likes to run.
You know, Tom, I see Hun's got some big boys back there. What's going on? What are they feeding them over there?
Lots of complex proteins and
Hoagie Haven too.
Some decent Haven. Always a whole, never a half. And we got a flag on the play. That is a sideline warning against the Hun school. One more time, and they'll flag it. So the get back coach needs to do a little bit better job there. Same formation. Play fake. Holly back to pass. Wide open is Chris Fake in the middle of the field. Fake across midfield, and he will be taken down at the 40. Chris fake, wide open down the seam. It wasn't that elaborate of a play fake, and a good throw by Holly. Unmolested in the pocket, making a decent throw. And these past couple of weeks, you've really seen the maturation of Patrick Holly, the quarterback for the Hun School. In a game against Hill and Lawrenceville, really kind of broke out and proved that he can be a tremendous pass thrower as well.
And I got to imagine with a line like that, that'll boost the confidence nice and easy.
And you get pretty comfortable back there. Renna at tight end. They're going to pull both guard and tackle there, but a flag on the play, and they're going to call offsides or encroachment on Peddie. So another penalty against the Falcons will give Hun another 5 yards.
Was that on Ty Tucker?
I am not sure. On that defensive line for Peddie, you also have Noel Hijazi, who is headed to Navy next year, number 55, who's playing on the inside, has had a great season for the Falcons so far. And they're going to run the same play. Vandermark and Morris pull.
Cuts it up inside.
Henderson gets a decent look up the field, but a great tackle there by Tyler Tedeschi, kind of the anchor of this Peddie defense, number 42. Is in his first year here at Peddie. He's a junior from Holmdel, New Jersey. Tedeschi also getting some touches at running back throughout the season. Just a very impressive football player. Trips to the right, lone receiver to the left is Tom Barr. Holly in the gun, another flag as Tucker Sturjarts off to the left. And we got a flag on the play.
Looks like another one against the Falcons. And I'm telling you now, if this is the way it's going to go, it's going to be a long afternoon. Hun needs no help out there today.
And another offsides call against the Falcons, as Mike just said. And we'll have two backs in the backfield, 1st and 10 for the Raiders at the 25-yard line of the Falcons. The give is to Streichhardt, and nothing really doing there. About a gain of 1. Terrell Prince in on the tackle. Adam Conyer in his 2nd year here at Peddie in on the tackle. TJ Ram making some noise in there as well, big number 24. I saw Ram at the Lawrenceville game pick up a fumble and almost beat the quarterback to the end zone.
He rumbled, stumbled all the way down.
Unbelievable. Looked like a wide receiver. Holly in the gun. And we're going to have, I believe, a false start. And it looked like Malcolm Brunson was the one that was moving there. The tailback for Hun, using this 3 tailback system between Brunson, Streichhardt, and Henderson. 3 tremendous athletes. I think one of the most difficult things is getting all of them an equal amount of touches throughout the year, because they each bring a different aspect to the table. But this will be 2nd and 15 now to go back to the 30-yard line of the Falcons.
I'd watch out for that play action dump pass to the tight end over the middle. Worked really well last time. Why not go back to it?
Receivers in tight. Holly rolls to his right. Kevin Johnson open, and a phenomenal open field tackle made by Jaden Blue at the original line of scrimmage. So it will be 3rd and 10. Great closing speed there by Blue.
2-yard reception for number 5, Kevin Johnson.
Not a bad grab by Kevin, though.
You know, and we talked a little bit about the depth that Peddie has on the line, and you see Noah DeHaan, number 68, and number 77, Evan Lovell, the 2 biggest humans in the area today. And they're only playing on offense, so being able to give them a bit of a break is probably a decent strategy here, as 6.5 minutes remain in the first quarter.
And it's also big when you've got your 3rd-string quarterback in there. You got to have them fresh.
Sure.
He's gonna need all the help he can get.
Holly, the pump fake, and incomplete. A fantastic effort there by Jaden Blue. Pass intended for Kevin Johnson off to the left side. So that's going to bring a 4th and 10. This is 4-down territory. They're not going to punt from here, and they're certainly not going to try a field goal. So we'll see what Todd Smith comes up with here. Looks like there was some miscommunication there between Holly and Johnson. Johnson, a breakout performance last weekend under the lights at Hun against Lawrenceville. He was being guarded by Isaiah Wingfield, who's headed to Harvard, one of the better skill players in the league, and he had an excellent game against him. So he's really developing here in his junior season and looking to make some noise here in today's game and throughout the rest of his high school and hopefully college career. Holly, 2 receivers either side. Brunson joins him in the backfield. We got a blitz on, and this one is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Terrell Prince. What a fantastic play and a great job by this Peddie defense.
Got great pressure as well from Zach Barnard, number 6. Cleared the way for Terrell to get in there, and looks like the Peddie Falcons are going to take over with decent position.
And Coach Tedeschi and Coach Parker love dialing up those blitzes for Peddie, and this one worked out. And one of the things that doesn't get talked about enough is Peddie's defense. So even with the injuries that they've sustained this year, their defense has still been outstanding. And they're looking to continue that success here today. And they've looked pretty good so far, aside from that one big play to Chris Fake down the middle. Prince in the gun. He's got 3 receivers to his right. He's going to give it to Farmer up the middle. Farmer's going to get about 1 to 2, and he'll be brought down by a large majority of the Hun Raider defense. And we got about 6 minutes to play here in the first quarter. So as we predicted, kind of a battle up front so far between the Raiders and the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm thinking this first quarter, wouldn't be surprised if it was a bit of a push. I think you're going to get some real action in the second half after some of the conditioning kicks in and you wear them now, but right now they're just sort of trading jabs.
Yeah, Tucker, Blue, and Garrett split out wide. Here comes Farmer in motion. He's going to get it and go upfield, and he's got room to run.
Ooh,
Tries
slips.
to cut back and slips at the 40, but a first down for the Falcons, and that one was wide open.
They've gone to that twice, and both times found a lot of success. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that again.
There is an element of thinking that Farmer is going to take that outside because that's what kind of his bread and butter, but the offensive line for Peddie doing a great job of a little misdirection there and heading up the middle and opening some lanes there for Farmer to go through. And he only needs a little bit of space to make some people miss.
Well, and I'm sure just like Maleo does on our side, but also the Hun coaches are doing a lot of research coming in. And so if you're usually seeing that look be the stretch play, cutting it up the middle might be a nice change. We got a wide open
This
ball
one
up
down
to
the
Jaden
sideline to
Blue.
Jaden Blue, and we have a flag on the play. So it looks like this one is going to be a pass interference against Tom Barr, number 10, and that's a good play call by Coach Maleo, trying to get the ball in the hands of one of his best playmakers in Jaden Blue, and a good throw by Prince to make it so that either it was going to be a penalty or a catch from Blue. So it looked like it's going to be pass interference. I can't imagine it's anything else. And it will be, I believe it's a 15-yard penalty. I could be wrong about it. No, it's 15. So it'll be an automatic first down for the Falcons.
Not bad coverage by Tom Bear there. I just think he got got a little ahead of himself. I know when you're out there on the island, sometimes it's hard to keep control. He might have jumped the ball a little early, but not bad coverage on that one.
Peddie getting a little bit of momentum here as they have gotten their second first down, I believe third first down of the game on that call. Prince alone in the gun. He's got Barnard at the wing in front of him. Here comes Farmer in motion. They're going to run that same exact play. Farmer is going to get about 3 to 4 yards on it. Great closing job by Diaz, Infante, Brunson, Chris Fake in there as well, and Jordan Morris in the thick of things as well. Jordan Morris, number 71, the big boy up front for the Raiders, one of the most affable people on campus. Really just a joy to be around. Absolutely hysterical if you have like a 10-minute conversation with him. Great kid, and he's been a great addition to the Hun community so far.
Well, that's one thing, Tom, I got to say on both sides of the ball. I haven't met a couple of Hun guys, but certainly having a chance to meet a bunch of the Peddie kids is, yeah, you can have a great program, you have a great football team, but sometimes at what cost in terms of community kids? These guys are amazing.
Absolutely. And Farmer, one of those that we've mentioned, gets close to the first down marker here. Tucker Streichardt's making a great play from the safety position. It'll be about a yard short, and it'll be 3rd and 1 here for the Falcons.
What do you think they're going to square up here, Tom? What you feeling?
Well, Farmer is out of the game right now, so Tedeschi is going to go in, and you don't have much of a fall off there with number 42 in the game because he is an outstanding back as well. And it looks like Coach Maleo is going to call a timeout. as he does that, we're going to take a look at our coaches' corner today and just kind of take a look at both coaches here. Chris Maleo, actually, fun fact, went to the Hunt School and graduated in 2002, and he was the Maple Offensive Player of the Year, and he is in his second season now as Peddie head coach. He is 10-3 as Peddie's head coach. Todd Smith is in his third season. He was the offensive coordinator for Hopewell Valley the year before he came to Hun, where they won a state championship. Came into Hun, and he's had some success. He's 21-1 in his 3 seasons, and he spent 8 years as West Windsor-Playsboro South's head coach. So 2 great coaches, arguably the 2 best in the league, going at it today, and 2 very, very competitive individuals as well.
Well, your team's only going to be as good as who you go up against, and I can tell you right now it's going to be exciting to watch these 2 head coaches go at each other with their squads year after year. This year, no exception.
So it's 3rd and 1. Farmer's back in the game. Tucker in motion. The give is to Farmer. Diaz Infante meets him behind the line of scrimmage, but Farmer is able to wiggle away from it. He's going to get a good spot. And it looks like it should be enough for a first down, and it is. So Farmer, with that second chance stretch there, gets himself a first down, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons.
Let me tell you, Tom, that kid, pound for pound, one of the toughest kids I've ever met.
It's tough to argue that if you've seen him play a game of football before. It's really something to watch. Farmer in the backfield. Prince has 3 receivers to his right. And the give is to Farmer to the outside. Strike cards. Meets him behind the line of scrimmage. They're going to reverse field. Farmer's got a little bit of space ahead of him. And a great play by Ryan O'Gorman to make the excellent stop there after a gain of about 2.
With also a late flag on the play.
There is a flag. It could be a face mask, could be a hold. We'll see what it is. And it's a hold against the Peddie Falcons. Now, there is the kind of the detriment of Farmer's style, where he kind of reverses field and is never down, is that you do leave yourself susceptible for either a block in the back or a hold. And that time, Peddie got dinged with a hold, and that'll bring it back about 10 yards after Peddie was kind of rolling there on offense.
You know, it is a downside, but at the same time, I think you take the good, the bad, and the ugly, and almost always juice is worth the squeeze. Man.
Yep. A lot of other athletic events taking place here today, Mike. You have third soccer, JV boys soccer, varsity girls soccer, field hockey, boys varsity soccer. Everybody playing today here at 2 o'clock at the same time. Football game still pretty well attended here, as students and parents alike have joined the stands here at Maurice P. Schumann Field. And we have another flag, and this one will be offsides against the Hun School. So 5 more yards for Peddie. A lot of flags here in the first quarter. We have 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go.
You know, Tom, I think one of the amazing things about playing in the Maple League, Mid-Atlantic Prep School League, the last 5 weekends of the season, we'll do all the games against each of the same schools. So obviously we're hosting Hun Raiders today in all events, but we'll also do it at other schools. And I think that's a special tradition we have the last 5 weeks of the fall, because you get a lot of parents and a lot of competition, a lot of love out there, and kids love playing in front of the crowds.
I agree. It is great. Setting up for a screen. Prince rolls to his right. He finds Jaden Blue, who makes a tackler miss. And Blue is going to keep going here and get himself back to the original line of scrimmage. We have another flag on the play. Don't know what this one is, but it looks like this one could be coming back.
Tom. I think it's coming back.
Mike, you make a great point about, I mean, it is a really, really cool thing where the Maple schools get together, and it's like every team is playing each other at the same time, at the same location. Next week is Blair Peddie Day, which is a huge day. I believe that's at Blair this year.
That's correct.
Yeah. So that'll be another great day for both schools. I experienced that for the first time about 2 years ago, and it was unlike anything I had ever seen. I got there about 2 hours early for the football game and had to park basically a half hour away. So they're going to wave off the flag. I'm not sure what it was intended for in the first place, but this will go back to, looks like 2nd and 11, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11 here after that completion to Jaden Blue.
Just making sure you're paying attention, Tom. Just making sure you're paying attention. Throwing flags out there, making sure you watch it, man. No, there's nothing like Blair Day, although today is pretty close. But Blair Day is amazing. A lot of alums come back, a lot of family members come back, teachers coming back even if they've moved on, and I think there's a lot of great spirit out there. I would love to play in it. It's an amazing event at 10. Got Keyshawn.
Jordan, that's Jordan Morris. Big Jordan Morris, just too powerful for Farmer. Basically just hucks him about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Unblocked, it looked like, and Jordan Morris, an excellent play. And another flag. Good gracious.
Just kidding. They're just kidding. Just fell out the pocket.
And they're going to wave this one off. Okay.
Just kidding. Loose belt, Tom.
Man.
Loose belt.
As we mentioned, Dan Dawkins not playing today. He was Peddie's center for a majority of the season. He's been offered by a slew of ACC American Athletic Conference schools, Temple, BC, UNC. He personalized his own sweatshirt, which I really appreciate. That's just a phenomenal move right there. You see 72 Dawkins down there. And it'll be 3rd and 15 for the Falcons. Prince fakes to Farmer. He's going deep. He's got a guy. Jaden Blue catches this one at the 1-yard line. What a catch from Blue and a great throw from Prince.
I don't know if you remember, Tom, but I told you at the beginning of the game, if we're going to go far, the Falcons are going to make it any way they can today. It's going to be on the back of Blue.
Jaden Blue, an outstanding catch. Couldn't quite get it past the pylon, but a great play to get Peddie out of a difficult situation from 3rd and 15. Prince just kind of threw it up. Blue had a couple steps on his defender, came back, made the play, and now it is 1st and goal from the 1-yard line.
Tom, I don't think this is automatic, though. I know we're 1st and goal in the 1. They've got a big line up front. They shorten the field here, and in some ways this could be tougher to score than if they were 20 yards out.
The give to Farmer. Not a lot of space. He is gobbled up there by Morris and Hansard. And that will bring up 2nd and 3. So it's a loss on the play. Actually, it's more like 2nd and 4. So a great play by that defensive line of the Hun School.
Not a bad time to do that inside toss fake and maybe have Terrell Prince bend it out to the right, run it in by himself untouched.
All right, we'll see what Coach Maleo decides to do, if he decides to run it in between the tackles or go to the outside. I got to be honest, I am a little bit surprised with the strategy of still kind of working between the tackles, but he has kind of opened it up a little bit with the motion and some of his pulling linemen. So they're going to spread it out wide here. The give is to Farmer. Farmer cuts up the middle, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Farmer. Keyshawn Farmer with, I believe, his 18th rushing touchdown on the season, which ties the Peddie Falcon record for Keyshawn Farmer.
Touchdowns in a season. Next one will break the record. It's coming. I don't know when, Tom. Might not be today. Could be today, but it's coming for sure. That man, that Philly Finest is a special kid, man.
So a touchdown for Farmer gives Peddie the early lead, and in a second we're going to try to pull up a replay for it. Zach Barnard is going to boot this one through. So Peddie with an early 7-0 lead, and Mike, we are in for a ball game here.
It's what we wanted. It's what we showed up for. No surprise here.
All right, and we're going to try to take a look at that touchdown play to Farmer. We've seen the play before, Mike. It's been working well for the Falcons. And we're going to just take a look here as we have this one queued up for you. See big TJ Ram in the backfield. They spread the receivers out as wide as possible to kind of open up the middle of the field there. And he just had to kind of go through one tackler and get into the end zone. So Peddie on the board first.
It's the bread and butter play. If you watch Evan Lovell there on the block, I'm pretty sure that's got to be the read Keyshawn makes. And Evan's gone down on his man and driven him into the ground every time. And it's easy to cut up and in for 6. So, Tom, I don't make many predictions, but I'm going to predict that's not the last score of this game. How you feeling about that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And I think that was a big wake-up call for the Raiders, knowing that everybody on the outside, they have to really respect those guys and respect that aspect of the passing game. I don't think Prince is really going to nickel and dime you. He's not going to pick you apart, but he can throw the ball up in the air, and he can throw it pretty far. And if you got athletes that can run under it, why not try it? So here comes Barnard. He's going to try to keep it deep, kick it deep. You have Strykart's back to receive for the Raiders. Henderson up, and Renna is going to field the squib kick at the 35, and he will turn it upfield and get to about the 46-yard line. So a good return from Chris Renna, the senior for the Raiders, who's had an outstanding season so far for Hun, playing linebacker and wide receiver, has really developed himself into a leader. He's not a captain, but he's definitely somebody that people here on the Raiders look up to, and puts Hun in pretty decent field position after that squib kick. I think if there was a kicking enthusiast that watched either Hun or Peddie in their kickoffs, I don't know if he'd enjoy it that much, to be honest with you.
Well, if the NFL is looking for any reason, any other evidence as to why they should get rid of the kicking game, this is a perfect example right here today.
Henderson with the carry. He's going to get about 3 yards. A great second effort as he was met in the backfield by, I think that was Adam Conyer to come up. And he stretched out for a good 3 yards. And that's some good grinded out running there by Henderson, as he's going to take a break here, and Streichhardt is going to come in at tailback. So 2nd and 7 for the Raiders at the 48-yard line, their own 48-yard line. Tom Barr split out wide to the right, Kevin Johnson to the left. Chris Fake in at fullback, Streichhardt at tail. Here comes the waggle. Holly, well covered, nobody open. Great job by Javar Garrett covering Chris Fake on that, who is usually the intended receiver, and that will be the end of the first quarter. So an excellent start to the game for the Peddie Falcons. You got to be fired up if you're this Peddie Falcon team and coaching staff here.
I'm sure the Hun Raiders are not upset about that ball being thrown short there. Might have been a lot uglier had that been a well-thrown ball.
And that's a play that's worked really well for Hun. I know specifically last week in the game against Hill, the fullback is usually wide open, but great job by Garrett being very disciplined there and staying with Chris Fake. And then we had 3 defenders in front of Chris Renna. So Holly really did not have many options. Good job of kind of settling himself in the pocket to get his feet underneath him and not throwing on the run when he doesn't have to. But still, nothing going there as Peddie had that dialed up.
Chalk it up to Coach Parker. He'll get it done. Good defenses out there. Typically, if we're going to lose, it's not going to be because of planning.
End of the first quarter. The score is Peddie 7, Hun 0.
So a little bit more juice in the atmosphere here at Schumann Field. Crowd starting to buzz a little bit. Starting to get a little warmer. Starting to develop a nice lather here. And we'll see what Coach Smith dials up here with a 3rd and 8 here for the Raiders. 2 receivers to either side. Henderson out wide for Hun, and another flag will be a sideline warning for the Falcons. This is a very strict crew.
Well, Tom, I wouldn't be surprised, given the magnitude of this game and how much anticipation was going into it, that they might not have been warned to make sure they keep it close, keep it tight, keep it clean. Certainly no love lost between Coach Smith and Coach Maleo.
Incomplete pass. That'll bring up 4th and long here for Hun. Diaz Infante into the game for the Raiders, so it looks like they might try to punt this one away. Holly does their punting for them, so we'll see if Peddie will be able to get the ball back. And Hun, without question, seeing the toughest effort that they've seen so far this year, aside from Friendship Collegiate down in D.C. So Holly's going to take a couple steps back, and he's going to kick this away, and it's a good one. Holly, this one bounces at the 20, inside the 10, and it will be down at the 6-yard line. An outstanding punt from Pat Holly, well executed, and with nobody back there for the Falcons, was able to get this one to bounce inside the 10-yard line. So poor field position here for Peddie. Let's see if Hun is able to take advantage of it. And this might very well turn into a game where special teams and field position play a major role.
Oh, Tom, I have no doubt. I think that punt right there, in many ways, being a game of inches, that's just as good as a big-time play in terms of momentum. Even if they didn't score, throwing it down to the wide receiver. If you get them down here 3 and out, they're right back at the 50-yard line or even closer, trying to punch it in.
1st and 10 from the 6. Peddie coming off a touchdown drive. They tossed in some penalties as well that made it a little bit more difficult, but it ended with a Good 30-yard pass to Jaden Blue. Here comes Farmer, makes the first guy miss. Going to the outside, gets a great block from Blue, but a flag on the play, and Farmer will be taken down. Forward progress will stop him at the 3-yard line. This flag will take Peddie back, I believe, half the distance to the goal. They're going to call a block in the back on Jaden. It was either Jaden Blue or it was Jaden Blue. So we'll see what they decide to do here. Farmer getting a little creative there. And this time it did not really turn out well.
It's
So
the gift and the curse right there. It didn't
There you
come
go.
through. Tell you what, though, I'll tell you again, Tom, juice is worth the squeeze, man. I'm not, early on last year when he was new to the squad, it was the heart attack kid. But you watch it enough and you just, you got to live with it and knowing that he's going to break him more often than not. But down here, might want to maybe hit the pause button on that. Dancing in the end zone is going to end up at 2 points for the Raiders.
So because of the loss on the play, the Raiders decide to decline it. So it'll be 2nd and 13 from inside the 5. And the give to Farmer once again. Hansard right there to make the outstanding play. Fred Hansard with a great play, coming off one of his best performances of his high school career last Saturday night against Lawrenceville. He's really had an excellent season for Hun this year. He is committed to the University of Florida. He's a proctor in the dorm. We go back to talk about good kids. He's really established himself as a leader not only on the football team but throughout the school. So he's really having himself a great senior year.
That's impressive to hear he's a proctor, right? Because what that says to me is you've got younger guys in the program and you want to have good leaders coming in, showing them how to lead by example. And he sounds like a kind of kid that I'd like to have over the dorm this way.
3rd and 11. The snap is bobbled. Prince looks like he's going to take it. He's going to turn the corner, and he's got some room to run. He's got a first down and more. Terrell Prince lowers his shoulder, and this kid came to play today. 3rd-string quarterback, who cares? He's been phenomenal. So that's a first down. It looked like after a bobbled snap, it looked like it was going to be trouble for Peddie. Prince tucked it and ran and picked up the first down for the Falcons.
Let me tell you, Terrell Prince out of College Park, Georgia, he will not blow you away with his blazing speed. I think what is amazing, though, is he has great football and just athletic instincts. He's a varsity basketball player, and you watch him. He's never going to beat a kid down the court, but he tends to be in the right place at the right time, and his great instincts out there. And yet again, you saw it happen, tucked it and ran for a first down.
Empty backfield, look for Farmer to go in motion. Here he comes. The give to Farmer. He's going to go up the middle. He's going to get past Jordan Morris, but not Chris Sumners. A senior here for the Raiders, number 42, dual sport athlete, also a baseball player too here for Hun. Comes from a long lineage of Hun Raider alumni. And Chris with a great play there on first down. Still a gain of about 5 as Farmer was able to get past the ankle tackle attempt from Jordan Morris. So 2nd and 5 here. This Peddie offense rolling smoother than I think a lot of people thought.
Well, I think he's getting a great block each and every time in that play from Evan Lovell. I'm surprised that the Raiders have not adjusted to it, but I'm waiting to see what the counter play off of that is once they do.
The give to Farmer up the middle, and Chris Fake is right there to drop him for a loss of 1. A great play by Fake off the edge. And that will result in a 3rd and 6 here for Peddie. Third and 5 from the 35. TJ Ryan in the game at fullback. Another flag. And this one will go against Peddie.
That one was not playing around. That one was for real.
That was
Tom,
a false start against the Falcons. Go ahead.
I'd like to recommend that we just understand that number 24, TJ Ryan, he's just a lineman getting a head start.
Yeah.
All right? There is nothing that is fullback about that young man. One of the nicest kids on campus, but I would not want to see him coming through the A-gap, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a big boy. That's a big boy for sure, wearing a very small number. And his jersey is so small that darn near all of his torso kind of sticks out under it, which is really cool.
That's the look these days, Tom. That's what you got to go for.
Yeah, I was never confident enough to pull that off. You know what I mean?
Listen,
But
when he goes with the belly tee, that's when you know it's getting crazy.
that's good stuff. Farmer met by Morris once again, and Jordan Morris making a name for himself here. That'll bring up 4th and long for Peddie.
Let me tell you, Keyshawn Farmer packs a punch, but that was a great tackle right there. Just wrapped him up, brought him down. Fundamental football at his best.
Barnard into the game to kick this one away. Hun will send Streikarts and Henderson back. Streikarts returned a kickoff for a touchdown last week against Lawrenceville to respond to the first score of the game, both with breakout speed. Barnard's going to kick this one away. It's end over end. It'll bounce at the 39-yard line and take a Peddie bounce all the way back to the 29. So the Raiders will start with the ball at the 29. Aside from the penalties, this is some pretty good football that we've seen so far here today. This is like old school, kind of hard-nosed, big boys going after big boys physical football.
That's what we like to see it. You know, I think what's great right there is I think the Hun Raiders stood their ground. I know Todd Smith wants to respond after that first quarter touchdown, make sure that doesn't get out of hand, get down 2 scores, and sort of stop the ball there, get it back with decent position. Let's see what they can put together.
Raiders come out in a pro right I formation, see if they go back to basics here on this drive. Holly, the give to Henderson, and that is their bread and butter, and it is met with a group of Peddie defensive linemen led there by T.J. Ryan, who was just playing fullback in the offensive series for the Falcons. So a loss of 1 on the play for Henderson. Not much doing inside the tackles for Hun.
You know, Tom, but what I've seen today, at least so far, is each coach is committed to making sure they run between the tackles. They want man-on-man, block, do your job football. And I think even though there's a loss of 1 or maybe a no gain, that sets up a great play action later on where you get that big home run play, which you wouldn't get if you didn't have folks stepping up into the box trying to get that tackle in, which here it is here.
Holly rolls to his left, underthrows Renna, who was open. Good play call there by Smith, but difficult play to throw kind of across your body as your momentum's going to your left to kind of regain that momentum. So tough play there, and that pass falls incomplete, intended for Chris Renna. Henderson back into the game. It'll be 3rd and 11 for the Raiders, whose offense has yet to get going here today.
You know, Tom, big missed opportunity there. Not only do you have that Mena open on 11, but you also had Kevin Johnson over on the left-hand side by the 50-yard line. They had 8 in the box. The Falcons stepped up and tried to play the run, and I think he missed opportunity there, but they might see it again later on.
Henderson has to leave the game, I believe, an equipment malfunction. Not sure what that call was there, but 3rd and 11 for the Raiders. Holly in the gun, and Barnard will get called for offsides here. So it'll be 5 yards for the Raiders, and it will be 3rd and 6.
When it's been a battle in the trenches all day, trying to get any advantage you can. But I'm not sure what you want to be doing here is giving the Hun Raiders a much more manageable 3rd and 5 when you've got them 3rd and long, and let's see if that comes back to bite the Falcons.
Brunson in the backfield for the Raiders. Holly in the gun. He's got Tom Barr and Tucker Streikarts to his left. Quick pass to Johnson, and that's a 1st down. Great route by Johnson. Tremendous toss by Pat Holly, kind of acting like a shortstop, getting rid of the ball pretty quickly and finding Johnson on the sidelines.
Nice tight ball down the sideline. Nice grab. Didn't have to do too much with it. Looks like that 5-yard penalty gave the Raiders a little bit more momentum, keep it going, and keeping the drive alive, 1st and 10.
Second target of the game for Johnson. That's his lone reception. And Hun coming out in a Twins look here. Brunson gets past the line of scrimmage, but not much more. A gain of about 2 for the Raiders there on 1st down. So this Peddie defensive line is giving Hun all it can handle here so far in the first half. Got about 6.5 minutes to go.
Hey, Tom, you having fun, man?
Yeah, absolutely. This is good stuff. I wish this was going on all day. It's good football.
I love it. I love it. Been looking forward to this for weeks. Can't believe it's here.
2nd and 7. Morris is going to pull and get a decent block on Tedeschi, but Tedeschi holds his ground and makes a play. That'll be a gain of about 1, so not much doing there, even with the big pulling lineman here for Hun, because of this defensive line for Peddie doing such a great job. And that's Noel Hijazi, that's TJ Ryan, Zach Barnard on the end, and Thomas Wardle on the other end. Just absolute loads to move there up front. So this has been a great battle so far. Holly now in the gun. He's got 2 receivers to either side. Streichhardt's in the backfield. Lays a great block. Wide open Kevin Johnson beyond the sticks for another first down. Same play that we saw on the last 3rd down. They went back to it. Good throw and good catch. And that's a first down for the Raiders.
Now, I heard you say that number 11, Chris Renner, gets a lot of balls thrown his way. I got to imagine Kevin Johnson gets his fair share out there. He's got nice, solid hands. He's running good routes. And I think, you get a nice target in there. As a younger quarterback coming up, he's a guy I'd want to be thrown into as well.
Yeah, he's had last year he was had a little bit of an injury bug last year, but this year he has really, really taken off.
Well, it looks like he's back to full form, and it's good to see that.
Give to Streichhardt. He's going to break a couple tackles and
Nice
down
spin
the
move.
right sideline after a first down. That'll be a gain of about 20. Tucker Streichhardt with a great gain for the Raiders, and now Hun's offense starting to pick up a little bit of momentum here.
Tom, I'm telling you, those penalties, man, that's all you need to get the little fire started. After that, it starts burning.
There you go. On that one 3rd down to make it to go from 3rd and 11 to 3rd and 6, and then Hun was able to convert. Big time play there. Sumner's at fullback for the Raiders. Henderson deep at tail. The give is to Sumner's, and he will get nothing.
Stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Thomas Wardle and Terrell Prince making the play there for the Falcons. Raiders love that trap play where they give to the fullback and they have a guard that pulls and kicks out the interior lineman, but there was really nothing there for the Raiders. Looks like gain of about 1. So it'll be 2nd and 9 here for Hun. You see Josh Henderson, the tailback, out wide for the Raiders. Holly turns, throws, finds Johnson once again. We have a flag on the play. And this is in the area of some offensive line infraction, but there's some pointing going on there towards the Falcons' way. So we'll see what this is.
Who done it, Tom? Who done it?
I don't know.
We've got Coach Maleo signaling it's against the Raiders.
All right, so that's an illegal chop block. That's where you have kind of a high-low situation. A lot of times it doesn't really happen consciously. So when somebody is engaged up top, you cannot go at them low to take their legs out. That is an illegal chop block, and that's what the Raiders get called for. I'm not sure if that's a loss of down or not, but it is a significant penalty that erases a good gain there on 2nd down.
And obviously with that call, the fear there is that's a high injury play. Oftentimes it's actually incidental. You're engaging with another lineman, guy drives you down and you fall into another guy's knee. But either way, you got to protect the players, and that's got to get called.
So that is a 15-yard penalty, and this will result in a 2nd and 21 for the Raiders. 2nd and long, you look screen, you look draw. Let's see what comes up here. So they will eventually be in 4-down territory, and they will most likely treat it as such. Adam Conyer out of the game for another equipment malfunction, and Chris Maleo is going to take a timeout so that Conyer gets this fixed. We have a timeout on the field here, and while we do that, let's just take a look at Peddie's schedule so far here this season. Their one loss of the game of the season came against St. Peter's up in Jersey City. As that was their 2nd game of the year. They started off with a win against Seton Hall Prep right here at Peddie, and since then they have won 4 in a row. A 46-7 victory against Wyoming Seminary, 48-7 victory against the Hill School, a 54-30 crazy football game at Lawrenceville under the lights, and a 43-14 victory. So they have scored a ton of points this year. Even against St. Peter's, I believe they put up 26, and they scored 21 on a very, very hot day here to start the season off against Seton Hall Prep. So this has been an excellent year for the Falcons, despite the significant injuries that they have sustained. But obviously looking to capture at least a share of the Maple title, as Hun is as well, and just kind of how that works. There is no tiebreaker, so they could be co-champions. If two teams have one loss, they are both champions of the league. It works just like the Ivy League does. So the winner of this will clinch a share, and if they win the following week, they will clinch it outright. But obviously, both teams can finish conceivably 4-1, or 4-1 in the league and capture a title. So that's what's on the line here in today's game. This is kind of the de facto championship game. That's kind of usually how it works towards the end of the season. When you figure out the records, there usually is a game that you can kind of count to and say this is the Maple Championship game. Still would like to get a final game at the end of the year to really decide that, but that I think is far away.
Tom, you can ask for it. The worst you're going to hear is no.
Yeah. Holly goes deep. There is a flag on the play, and another flag there will go against Javar Garrett. So it'll be interesting to see how these penalties work against one another. So there was a penalty at the line of scrimmage that was not a dead ball foul, so it wasn't a false start. And then a pass interference, which is going to be called against Garrett. So this will be interesting to see, and kind of a shame how much this first half has been dictated by the referees.
Yeah, you know, what's surprising, I think, is I'm sure they've got a heads up coming into this game of sort of what's at stake and the rivalry, and I think many people outside of New Jersey are paying attention today. At the same time, I do not think either team has shown that they're going to play outside themselves. I think it hasn't been chippy at all. You know, someone might have expected a little bit nastier play, and so I think with the hypersensitive refs, you know, I don't think we need it. Just let them go out there and play. It looks like we've got offsetting penalties here, so guess what, Tom? Just playing? Oh,
So
no.
the penalty's offset, but I think there's like some rollover yards there. So
15 and 10 for 5? Is that
yeah,
what we're going here?
there
Okay.
you go. So it won't be a loss of down. It'll be second down again, but now it's second and 16 as opposed to second and 21.
I'm going to need instructions on the play on the rule book on that one at some point, Tom.
Yeah, I just think there was a little bit of overlap there. I was confused as to how they were going to decide that. But second and long here for the Raiders. Holly in the gun, back to pass. Holly under pressure. TJ Ram brings him down at the 48-yard line. Ram, and I believe that was number 6, Zach Barnard.
Well, I got to tell you, Tom, Peddie Falcons are lucky they brought him down when they didn't got the pressure, because number 11, Chris Rayner, was wide open over the middle for a large play.
And Holly is down. He's up to his knees, but shaken up a bit after that as he had both Ram and Barnard kind of land on top of him. Holly is going to leave the game for at least a play. He looks okay, and it's always good to see somebody leave under their own power. But I believe that's going to bring Tom Barr in as backup quarterback here for the Hun School.
That's about 500 plus pounds falling on top of you. I'm going to take a play off as well if that happens to me. He's a tough kid, though. I'm sure he'll be right back out there.
This will result in 3rd and a mile for the Hun School. So we'll see if they just try to gain some yards back, take care of the football, and try to pin Peddie's offense as deep as they possibly can.
Tom, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that right sideline play over to Kevin Johnson, maybe cut the distance in half and then try to make something happen on 4th down.
And the snap is fumbled and picked up by Barr.
Of course they run the ball on that call. That's why I'm not coaching today, Tom. I am just hanging out with you.
And this will result in 4th and long and a timeout for the Hun School. And as Hun takes a timeout, so will we by checking out their schedule up until this point. And the Raiders have an unblemished record here so far. They started the season off by playing a team from Canada, Royal Imperial, and not playing their best game. They had a couple They had a couple injuries sustained in that game, but came out with a 38-13 victory. They went up to Connecticut, a 55-13 win against Capital Prep, but then a 10-hour delay because their bus broke down up in Connecticut. So that was certainly a memorable day. A 20-14 victory down in D.C. under the lights against a very good football team in the D.C. area, Friendship Collegiate. A 35-0 win against Blair. They went to Hill for a 41-12 win, and then a 46-13 victory against Lawrenceville under the lights for homecoming last week. So a great season so far for the Raiders in a tough spot here, 4th and 17, as Tom Barr is going to try to kick this one away and pin Peddie deep.
You know, Tom, one thing I could notice on both of those schedules, both for the Falcons and the Raiders, we got a bit of a pooch kick here.
Yeah, an unintended pooch.
Yards.
That was more of a shank. So about 10-yard punt there from Barr, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons in decent field position here.
But I can tell you right now, Tom, knowing both Coach Smith and Coach Maleo had opportunities to really run up the scores in some of those games, and what I appreciate is that really doesn't make anybody better out here, and so I'm sure while they scored a ton of points, they could have doubled it up at some points there, and a bit of class shown by both programs. But I'm telling you today, neither one of them are thinking about taking it easy. They're trying to get all they can, because I'm not quite sure what will be enough to get it done today, but I can promise you it will not be a 7-0 game, that's for sure.
And you can see the Hun coaching and athletic trainer staff huddled around Pat Holly to see if he's ready to go into the game or if they're going to have to go with their backup quarterback here. Peddie with the momentum and the football. 3 minutes and 52 seconds to go here in the first half. Terrell Prince looking for Jaden Blue and eventually finds him on the sideline. Terrell Prince has been incredibly impressive with his poise today, because 2 plays now that looked like they were done for, he kept the ball in his hand, stayed calm, and found somebody that was wide open. And that play looked like it was destroyed, and was able to keep it going and essentially gain 4 yards here on first down.
Tom, I think it's one of those things for some kids, the game gets too fast and the game gets away from them. I think Terrell, it might just be in his blood, man. He's from down south. He moves a little slower, talks a little slow. He's a bright kid, but right there, he didn't try to do too much, paid attention. Nice little dump pass for positive yardage.
Prince, the fake to Farmer. He's going to go deep.
Not a bad
Jaden
ball.
Blue got a step. Incomplete pass. Good coverage there by O'Gorman. And it's another really good throw by Prince down the right sideline, and good timing on that. We have a flag on the other side of the field.
On both those throws and the one he just completed previously, I think he's got a nice touch. He's not trying to do too much, just give his receivers a chance. And when you've got athletes, that's all you really got to do.
I believe this is a sideline infraction on the Raiders. I've never seen so many sideline infractions called in a single game. I mean, this is getting to be absurd.
Tom, they're just worried about the West Side Story opportunity here, right? Last thing you want is guys coming out the switchblades dancing. It's a football game.
Oh, boy. So that will make it 2nd and 1 here for the Peddie Falcons.
I'll tell you what, though, we do have some guys who do the winter musical on this squad. They could put together a little ensemble if you need them to, Tom. They can. They really
You know
could.
what? I would love that. I'm all about well-rounded student athletes.
We got them, baby. We got artistic athletes.
All right, so 3rd and short.
Tom, whatever I call they're going to do the opposite. So I'm going to say long bomb right here.
Yeah, we'll see. This one's going to be well, we'll see.
Inside toss to Keyshawn with Lovell blocking down. That's my call. No moving, of course.
And Prince is going to keep it and toss it outside to Blue. What a play call here. Blue still on his feet, down to the 35-yard line, a first down for the Peddie Falcons. 2 elements of misdirection there. Had me fooled because I thought Prince was going to keep it, then threw it out to Blue. Blue with the sure hands, and then the burst to get up the field and get the first down. An excellent play that has not been seen before. Couldn't have prepared for it, so a really nice play, well-executed play there by the Falcons.
I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to this coaching staff. You go down not to your 2nd, but your 3rd. Terrell Prince hasn't played quarterback since 8th grade, and you see what skill set he has, and obviously throwing that little sideline out works well. Here we go back to the bread and butter, but now it's stretching it out wide. Haven't done it all game.
We have Farmer to the outside and 2 flags and a fumble. And Hun will pick up the football. That's Chris Fake. We have 2 flags on the play. If they're both against Peddie, it will be Hun football. If it's offsetting, it'll go back to Peddie, I believe.
Well, I know we've got at least one block in the back. I saw that happen a little bit upfield. We'll see what the second one is.
And it looks like Hun offense will take over. And Chris Fake falling on top of the football. If we can see who I believe caused that fumble, we'll be able to give credit there. But a huge, huge play by the Raiders defense to get the ball back into the hands of the offense.
The typically short-handed Farmer with the ball had it knocked out. Clearly returned by the Raiders. First turnover of the game. This might be exactly what the Raiders are looking for to make something happen, get momentum going their way.
And this is Barr in the game for the Raiders. An unbalanced look on the offensive line. The give is to Henderson. Henderson has nowhere to go. A loss of 2 on the play. And it does not look like Holly is in great shape to get back into this game. So it's 2nd and long here. Hun's really going to have to dig deep. And now both teams on to backup quarterbacks.
Tom, on that play, number 6, Zach Barnard, came down the right-hand side. Athletic kid. He's got great speed and quickness. Came along the line and made a great tackle from behind on that one. He's got to be the largest kicker in the Maple as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. Barr under center, back to pass. Here comes Barnard. Throws towards the right sideline and incomplete, intended for Chris Renna. It is 3rd and long now for the Raiders.
Be really unfortunate if Holly can't get back in the game, Tom. I think while Pettie's already down at their third string quarterback, they have known for a couple weeks now they were coming into it. Where right now, to adjust on the fly, that's got to be a huge disadvantage for the Raiders right now. It's going to take a lot of creativity to stay in this one.
Barr rolling to his right, intended for Johnson, incomplete. 4th and long now for the Raiders, and Pettie's offense will get the ball back with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here. Try to make this a 2-score game. And Barr's first punt, not impressive. See if he can get a little bit more distance on this one to push Peddie back any further.
Special teams coming in crucial now, Tom. When you can't move the ball very well, you got to get them as far back as you can, have your defense pin their ears back, and go.
Barr gets a good one off, but Jaden Blue is there to recover at the 40-yard line. Here comes Blue. Great job by Tucker Strykard's ball on the ground. Loose football, they're going to call it down. They're going to call it down. It was recovered by Peddie anyway, but a great job by Tucker Strykarts. And Peddie will take over at the 42-yard line.
Great job. I mean, talk about fundamental football there. Open field, tackle. You got a return man with some momentum going. He stood his ground, got low, wrapped him up. And I don't know, close call. Might have stripped him for the fumble, but they called it down on the play.
And we're going to take another look at it to see if he was indeed down. A much better kick by Tom Barr. Blue fielded it at the 40. Watch Tucker Strykarts making an excellent play here and going after the football. I don't know if he was down there. Peddie was able to recover anyway, so it was kind of a moot point. But
yeah, I mean, on that one you could see it. Ground can't cause a fumble, but it was so close, bang, bang. Got to go with what they called.
Prince keeps it. Great play by Sumners to square him up and then finished off by Malcolm Brunson. And Jordan Morris in on the play as well. So it'll be 2nd and long now for Peddie. And you hate to say it, but Hun's defense might have to be the one that comes up with a huge play here. Minute 36 to go here in the first half, and this has been a first half pretty much dominated by Peddie. Farmer in motion. Prince fakes it. He's going to go deep once again. Jaden Blue gets some separation, and it is incomplete. This flag, I'm not sure if this is going to be against Hun or Peddie. You saw Blue reach out with his left hand, and we'll see what the call is.
You know, Tom, it can go either way. I mean, you could read that. I mean, it's all open to interpretation.
And it is pass interference on the Falcons.
Yep. Now, you can use that arm, as long as you don't shove him, you can use that arm to get a sense of where your defender is. But when you leave it on him and he goes to make a play, he's got every right, just as you do, to get that ball. I think that's what they call him on, is keeping it out there.
I'm just incredibly impressed by what Prince has been able to do, just throwing the football. Every single time he's thrown it, there has been an opportunity for a Peddie receiver to make a play on the football. It's like that throw he has down pat. Now, they haven't tried to throw in the middle of the field. They haven't tried any digs or anything like that. And they might not even have to. But he can throw that one, and he can throw a screen pass as well. And I think it's just been pretty inventive play calling and coaching here by Peddie so far to be able to be in a position where they're up 7 with a minute 20 left here in the first half.
Well, Tom, I think you said it, right? You got to know your personnel, play within yourself, not try to do too much. You know, if not, you know, playing quarterback in 8th grade is one thing. Coming out here trying to play varsity football, reading defense is another. You know, it's a safe play to the sideline. Either you give your man a chance to catch it, or it's out of bounds, you know, or it's incomplete, and you keep the ball.
Dante Diaz-Infante with an outstanding play to take down Farmer from behind there. Great pursuit to the football. It'll result in a 3rd and long here for Peddie. It's about 3rd and about 18.
Well, Tom, looks like the Falcons are in no rush to get something going here. With under a minute to go, 50 seconds left in the game, they might just try to break one, or, you know, go into halftime happy 7-0, knowing that's not going to necessarily get the job done. But with the Hun Raiders quarterback down, might be feeling good about where they are right now and talk about the second half.
And we got a timeout here called by the Raiders, 40 seconds to go. So this game has taken, well, it started at 2, so we got about an hour and 5 minutes. We are about an hour and 5 minutes in. By the time, the reason why I mentioned that, Mike, is by the time the second half starts, you'll start to see some of the students trickle down to the football field after their games have finished. Field hockey will most likely be done, and soccer will probably be finishing up around that time. So you'll start to get a little more vibrant here at Schumann Field, even though they have been able to draw a pretty decent crowd here, despite all the different teams playing at the same time.
Well, I think a lot of family members were looking forward to this game. I'm sure there's some folks from out of town coming in. You know, both Hun and Peddie have boarding students, and so if you coming from a distance, can't make it to every game, you got to pick a couple of choice ones. I think this week and next week with Blair Day being the rival game, but in reality, if you're coming to see the best football game of the season, I can't imagine there's a better one between these two teams than this one right here today.
40 seconds ago, we got 3rd and 18 here for the Falcons.
You know, Tom, interesting call there. If you're going to call a timeout, I think it's interesting to let another 20 seconds burn off by the Raiders, but I think right here they're thinking they might have another crack at it. They can get a stop here.
And the fake to Farmer. Prince back to throw once again. They're going to go after Tom Barr, and he is in and out of his hands. Oof. Barr with the interception right there in his hands and dropped it. So it'll bring out 4th and long, and looks like Peddie is going to kick this one away.
You know, Tom, in that situation, not necessarily a bad thing to drop that. I think in reality, given the stellar or less than stellar kicking game, I can't imagine they're not going to get better field position here with this kick than they would had they intercepted that one.
33 seconds to go, 4th and long here for the Falcons. Barnard back to kick.
And if you get a short one here, sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Henderson and Streikarts back to receive.
And if you get a short kick here with 33 seconds left, not a bad opportunity. Maybe run one back instead of trying to run it from line of scrimmage.
Another flag on the play.
Tom, is it the first flag of the game?
No. You know what? It sure isn't.
But it's been a while since they threw one that they didn't mean, so this could be one of those.
False start. It's going to take Peddie back 5 yards.
Oh, they meant that one too.
Fourth and 24 here for the Falcons. The high snap is corralled by Barnard, but it affects the kick as this one is high and bounces out of bounds at the 28-yard line. 23 seconds to go. We'll see if the Raiders try to do anything here or just take a knee on it to go into halftime down 1 score.
Interesting enough, Tom, that's exactly where Thomas Baird dropped that interception. So all things considered, get the ball right back where they would have gotten it in the first time.
Can't say enough about the line play from really both teams here today. The offensive and defensive lines on both teams have really come out to play. Peddie's has been incredibly impressive here today, and this is really what we've seen all year. But this is certainly one of their toughest tests against this Hun offensive line, and they've done an outstanding job.
Yeah, I got to say, big boys on both sides going at it. I mean, that is what football is all about. Games are won and lost there. Let's see what they can put together here now.
And Barr is going to take a knee. We'll see if they'll allow them to just head into halftime. See what's going on here. Yeah, if it was 23 seconds, they don't need to run another play. They can just head into the locker room. And that is exactly what they're going to do. And that will do it for the first half of play here as the Peddie Falcons leading the Hun Raiders 7-0 in a game that could decide the Maple Championship. A hard-nosed game between two very, very tough teams. So far, Peddie on top. We'll be back in about 10 minutes here for your second half, live from Maurice P. Schumann Field. And welcome back. Just getting ready to start the second half here. Alongside Mike Agosto, I am Tom Monfiletto, and we are bringing you this Peddie versus Hun football matchup, which has been a grind so far. Peddie leading 7-0 here at the half. The story towards the end of that first half was Hun's quarterback Patrick Holly being knocked out of the game. Not sure if he's going to return to action here, but also the third-string quarterback for the Peddie Falcons, Terrell Prince, has been absolutely phenomenal so far here today, Mike.
Yeah, I think what's been amazing is a lot of folks all over the place, locally and beyond, have been looking forward to this game. And sometimes a game that has a lot of hype behind it doesn't necessarily pan out the way you want it to. And I got to say, this has been nothing short but of a great game. It's been a real old-fashioned, punch him in the mouth, big-time line play. There's been some swing and momentum. I know it's 7-0, but it could easily be 7-0 the other way for the Raiders right now, and we'll see how it goes the second half. But I'm really appreciative and happy to be out here watching a great game with some great ball players out here. High-quality football in New Jersey.
And the weather could not be better. It's about 65 degrees. It's sunny. You got some tremendous foliage in the background here. You can't ask for better foliage. Leaves still clinging on to those branches. Beautiful scenery here.
Yeah,
at the Peddie School.
And in October, late October, you don't know what you're going to get. This weekend, 4 years ago, there was snow on the ground. And so I'm just happy it's not a rainy day. It's been some tough weather this week. And listen, we don't got to blame it on the elements. We don't got to blame it on other than whatever team comes out here, plays harder, going to win. But I can say right now, whatever team wins is going to win this game. It certainly has not been given away up to this point.
Looks like Peddie's going to have to kick it away. I'm not sure what the delay here is to get this going. I have a couple foreign items in the end zone that are being picked up right now, clearing the field, so we can get ready to get this second half underway. A lot of penalties there in the first half, Mike. See if we can play a cleaner game here in the second half. And we'll see if it continues to be a battle up front like it was in the first half. And both lines on both teams were outstanding.
Well, I called it in the first half in terms of thinking there weren't going to be too many fireworks, but I think what we probably want to be looking out for this third and fourth quarter as the game gets to wear on, even though you got great weather out here, when you're battling this long, it's just a war of attrition. You got a lot of guys for both teams going both ways, and so I think when that's going on, you're going to see who's going to sort of break down physically, but I think more importantly, as the fatigue kicks in, you're going to see some mental mistakes happen, and really I think it's going to come down to which team takes advantages of those opportunities that the other team will give them. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, some big boys pushing some big bodies around with some great skill players. I do hope that Pat Holly does make a return because I think that's not what we want to have this game come down to, the injuries, and so I just hope these guys have some fun and make a memory.
Let's take a look at some of the previous matchups here between Hun and Peddie last year at the Hun School. It was all Hun in a 40-13 victory. The year before was the game where Peddie was kind of decimated with injuries and was not able to field a team during that season. And then the previous 3 years, Peddie came away with some really exciting, thrilling victories here against Hun. One was in overtime here at Peddie. So it has usually been a battle here. We had kind of a 2-year break from those really, really great games, and looks like we're back at it right now between this, this back and forth between Hun and Peddie.
Well, I think having Coach Maleo in line at Peddie and Coach Todd Smith, it's great for the league. It's great for New Jersey football that both these guys are in here, making a commitment to both programs and both schools, obviously supporting them, and I think we're going to have a great game every late October for years to come.
Barnard to kick it away here for the Falcons. Grant Hansen and Tucker Streichhart's back to receive. And Hansen, the freshman, fields it at the 5-yard line. And he will get up to the 26, but a flag on the play. And a pretty impressive return there from Grant Hansen, getting his first touch in today's game.
Hey, Tom, would you believe another flag on the play?
Nope. Pretty fitting.
Hey, that's the first one of the second half. Sure hands there, though, by the freshman. I got to say he brought that in. Didn't try to do too much. Had a good wall set up for him. But it might seem to be a block in the back. Might set the Raiders back a little bit.
Pat Holly is in the game for the Raiders. So after taking a huge hit from T.J. Ryan and I think it was Zach Barnard. Yeah,
500 plus.
there you go.
Combined there.
He is back in the game under center for the Raiders.
You know, that's a great sight. We never want to have kids go down to injuries. You want to be able to put your best team out there. And for a kid that's worked hard all season, last couple of years, we don't want him to go out that way. And so we're happy to see him back in there, see what he can do.
And the give is to Henderson off the right side. He's going to cut it back inside for a gain of about 3 on first down. Oh, that is more than 3. My perception is a little bit off. That's about a gain of 5, so it'll turn it to 2nd and 5. A great gain to start things off here in the second half for Hun.
You know, Tom, Josh Henderson seems like a real dual threat out there today. He seems like a great option. I think even when they're not throwing him the ball, clearly the secondary, the Peddie secondary is paying attention to him. I think that's led to a couple Kevin Johnson sideline throws, so it's good to see him out there playing well and see if he's off to another good start.
You're right. Peddie has, for all intents and purposes, shut down the run game of Hun thus far. But here comes Streichhardt, and that's a first down for the Raiders. It will move the chain, same exact play, just 2 different ball carriers, and they might have found something there off the edge here in the second half.
Well, listen, no matter what you got going on, you know, halftime can sometimes cut your momentum off. You might have come out here pumped to play the game, but now all of a sudden, with a little downtime, come back. If you don't jump right back into it, and the other team does, that's what you get. 2 plays, man on man, helmet on helmet, moving the ball. And until they stop you got to keep doing it.
1st and 10. The give to Brunson. Brunson met immediately in the backfield by, that was number 55, Noel Hijazi, who had the initial hit, and then it was cleaned up by his teammates there, and then it's a gain of about 1.5 on first down. But that was Big Noel with a huge play in the backfield as Streichhardt is entering the game now once again for the Raiders. So number 4, Tucker Streichhardt, one of the dynamic athletes here on this Hun team, and they're going to try to get the ball in his hands as much as possible.
And Hijazi there with the arm tackle. Every coach will tell you do not do that, but when you've got arms as large as his, sometimes you can get away with that.
And this one nearly intercepted. Terrell Prince had a beat on it, and this will bring up 3rd and 8 for the Raiders.
Well, Tom, if today's game has shown anything, the markers are just suggestions. Whether it's 3rd and long, 3rd and short, I think either coach is willing to pull out whatever they feel is going to get the job done. So don't be surprised if they pull a first down here or if it goes the other way for Peddie on the INT.
Holly in the gun. 3rd and long for the Raiders. The pass to Johnson is incomplete, short, and this will bring up a 4th and long for the Raiders. And this is a punting situation. Holly looks like he is not going to exit the game, so he will bring in a couple players from the side. So this is their punt personnel. I got a little confused there. On the sideline. So this is their punt personnel. It looks like Holly's going to do the duties of kicking. It is 4th and about 8 from their own 20-yard line. So after a quick first down, Peddie defense stood tall, and 2 incomplete passes led to the 4th and long. And this one is drilled right out of bounds by Holly, and Peddie will start with outstanding field position here to start things off for their first drive of the second half. 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
Tom, I know we've got a lot of recruited athletes out there, a lot of high Division I teams. One position in particular I am certain we will not have anybody recruited out of this game will be for their kicking game.
I'd say that's a pretty safe estimate. It'll be 1st and 10. It actually marked out of bounds at the 34-yard line of the Raiders. So this is some excellent field position for Peddie. After that, I believe that was like a 15-yard punt from Holly. So Peddie will start with it here. Hijazi in at center, taking over for Dan Dawkins. You see Lovell, Evan Lavelle, and Noah DeHaan on the same side here for the Falcons. And Prince is going to keep it. They're going to run an option. And Diaz Infante is there to make the play along with Chris Fake and Chris Sumners. So that's great team tackling there by the Raiders to stop this one in the backfield. It's the first time I think this is the first time we've seen them actually we've seen Prince keep it and go to that option. He's either thrown it or run it himself after that. So another play that we've seen in the arsenal here for Prince to run. So it would be 2nd and 11 now from the 36-yard line of the Raiders.
Yeah, there was nothing doing there. Hun Raiders had that all the way from the start of the play. In many ways, I think it was a great call by Terrell Prince, keeping that, not necessarily for the game, but something uglier could have happened had he tossed that.
Prince off to the right, complete to Jaden Blue. Blue down the right sideline, breaks a tackle, and he will be out of bounds at the 13-yard line.
That was initially well defended by O'Gorman, but then he slipped on the play, and Jaden Blue on the comeback was wide open. Big gain by the Falcons for first down.
And just incredibly impressed by Blue and Prince all game long. We'll see the nice move there by Jaden Blue on the outside, and just able to make plays in third down situations, in difficult situations. They've been able to find an answer all game long. Prince, the give to Farmer.
Ball's down.
Ball is down.
Gonna give that to the Raiders.
And it looks like it is Hun football. So Farmer with his second fumble of the day, and this one gobbled up by Hansard. So a break here for the Raiders. Let's see if they're able to take advantage of it.
Incredibly unfortunate for the Falcons. I think they had things rolling there, getting just enough done with the passing game, and the sure-handed Farmer coughs up the ball, and that is certainly relief for the Hun Raiders who take over. And again, it's going to come down to who can capitalize on the mistakes. And right now, let's see if the Raiders can get it done.
Holly back in the game for the Raiders at quarterback. He's in the gun. 2 receivers to either side. Malcolm Brunson to his right in the backfield. The give is to Brunson, and Brunson's going to toss this one. Jaden Blue is right there.
No doing.
And the pass was intended for Kevin Johnson, who landed incredibly awkwardly on the play, but bounces right back up. He almost did a split as he landed. That play was well covered by Jaden Blue. You kind of saw, just based on the depth of the flare there by Brunson, that something was up there. And Jaden Blue stayed true and had some good coverage on that play, so it leads to an incomplete pass.
Tom, I was before the snap, I was looking over, seeing twins left on the left hash mark. Just didn't feel the spacing was right. Might have maybe signaled to some of the DBs that there might have been a trick play coming, but they were all over that from the start.
Chris Renna is exiting the game now, and Josh Henderson will enter here for the Raiders. 2nd and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Got a timeout.
And we got a timeout on the field. Hun will take it due to the exit of Chris Renna for, I think we had a little bit of blood under that knee. And we'll take a look at the prep rankings here within New Jersey. This is based on NJ.com's poll. This doesn't include the entire Maple League, obviously, because Mercersburg and Hill won't be included on NJ.com. But Hun and Peddie, 1 and 2 right there. Blair right behind them at 4 and 3, who Peddie will play next week. And rounded out by Sussex Tech and MKA. But Hun and Peddie kind of in their own territory there, I would say, at the top of those rankings.
Yeah, I mean, it's safe to say that whoever wins this game today could possibly come out on top.
And I do believe if Peddie, a healthy Peddie this time in the year, if they were able to play a St. Peter's Prep once again, it might be a different story up there. There's with as many new players as Peddie has, the second game of the season, you're definitely not at your peak. I would say, this is probably the perfect time to be playing your best football as a unit. With the team that has some new players and such a small roster, you're still kind of trying to figure things out.
Yeah, I mean, I would say while we didn't come away with that win, we certainly had an opportunity to. I think at one point we were down 5. It was 26-31. We were driving. We had a great toss over to Jahan Dotson, who's now injured for the rest of the season. But, you know, it was a close bang-bang play. Could have been pass interference. He might have still been able to bring it down. I think that might have changed momentum. But at the end of the day, I think that game really was what had a little battle-tested experience for this team now.
Brunson off to the right side. Tyler Tedeschi with an outstanding tackle after a gain of about 6 for the Raiders. And, Mike, one of the benefits of playing that game early in the season as well as Seton Hall Prep is, you know, as you get later on in the season, you can legitimately say to yourself, nothing is going to be tougher than playing St. Peter's at Jersey City.
No.
And that experience is invaluable.
But that's where taking, you know, in football, you don't get many out-of-conference opportunities, and so you can have a couple layups and tune-up games, or you can go in and be battle-tested, knowing that at the end of the day you want to win your conference championship, and I think that's where we are right now. Even though we've had a couple of losses to injuries, I think we wouldn't be as solid a squad right now had we not been battle-tested up front, and it shows.
And that was another outstanding play by Tyler Tedeschi, the glue guy, self-proclaimed glue guy of this Peddie defense, coming up making a huge play as Tucker Strykars tried to cut that one back.
Well, what I appreciate about, you know, Tyler is he comes in, he does whatever you ask him to do, right? He's the captain out there on defense. He's calling the plays, and you need a guy like that. And you know, as long as he's in there, you're standing up with him, you're going to be okay.
Holly with a good boot this time, and it will bounce out of bounds at the 49-yard line. So a 35-yard punt, and Peddie will start once again with really good field position. Let's see what they come up with here as their defense stood tall once again from the efforts of Tyler Tedeschi in the middle.
Tom, if this is a heavyweight fight, this is a bunch of two large brawlers coming back, just throwing body shots at this point. All the fighting has been in the middle of the field between the 40-yard lines. But I'm telling you, by the end of this quarter, maybe into the middle of the fourth quarter, we're going to see some action. Something's got to bend, something's got to give. I can't imagine it stays this way the rest of the way.
And the kicking block was on the field. How that thing remains on the field for 7 minutes of natural time is beyond me.
I told you, they've been playing the game between the 40-yard lines. You don't need the block out there.
Man. Prince to Blue. Blue
Great
with a little
blocking.
bit of space. Good tackle there by O'Gorman. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's a really nice play by Ryan O'Gorman on the sideline.
He's been consistent all day. He's a short-handed tackler. He's a guy you want out there in space because you break that one tackle, and I think he's gone, you know, for a big gain. But he's as consistent as they come, and he's proven it today.
Second and long now for the Falcons. I mean, you do get this sense, though, whenever Jaden Blue has the ball in his hands that he can score a touchdown.
It's
right?
always one fake away. It's one fake away. But to O'Gorman's credit, he's kept them in front of him. You can't stop him, but if you can contain him for a game, look up.
We have a flag on the play. We're going to have an illegal chop block, and I think there's another flag over here, which could be for pass interference. So this is a run-pass option, Mike, and you know, watching film before this game, I asked Coach Maleo, like, how do you not get called for this? Because sometimes it seems like your linemen are 3 or 4 yards down the field before your quarterback throws the ball. And he said it's just not something that's very easy to call for the referees, and he doesn't really believe that he's breaking the rules here. So we have offsetting penalties, a pass interference, as well as an illegal chop block. And I think will they replay the down, so we'll go back to 2nd and 9.
Well, I know earlier you had said it was 15 and 10, so we got the plus yardage, but I think both of those are 15 and 15.
Yep.
Even I know that's 0. So I think we just replay and act like nothing ever happened.
Now Prince has 2 receivers to his left and 2 to his right. Farmer right behind him. He's about 2 yards behind the center, and the give is to Farmer right up the middle. There's Jordan Morris, and there's Chris Sumners. Chris Fake finishing the tackle. They're going to rule him down. That's the 3rd time that Farmer has coughed it up. So that is certainly a concern here with Peddie only sporting a 7-point lead here as we get late into the third quarter.
Well, you know, Tom, I think the difference today versus any other day that we've had a game is Hun has as formidable a defensive line as we have an offensive line. And so what you haven't seen out of Farmer today is his ability to attack the line of scrimmage, bounce it back around for a big play, because they're all over him and they're fundamentally sound and they're trying to strip that ball. And so I think that's why you haven't seen the big plays out of Keyshawn Farmer today, because they've neutralized it with their their defensive line play.
3rd and 12. Prince back to pass. He's looking for Blue. He's going to let this one fly. Jaden Blue wide open at the 4-yard line into the end zone for the touchdown. Jaden Blue with a little bit of space. Blew past the defenders for the touchdown.
Tom, I'm not sure what the yardage was on that. We might see it on the replay, but that might have been 40 yards, 50 yards in the air, man.
It was about it was a 52-yard strike. Prince with a ton of time here, just let it fly, and Blue got 2 steps on both the corner and the safety and found his way into the end zone. And the story of today, once again, Terrell Prince and Jaden Blue, as they build a 13-0 lead here, pending the extra point from Barnard.
The largest kicker in the Maple.
And this one is good. So 14-0 now the score. Peddie seems to be in control of this one.
Listen, all it would take right now is mistake-free football on the offensive side for the Falcons. Given the way it's gone today, given the fact that Holly has not necessarily been at his best today. He took the hit. He did come back in the game, but we don't know what effect that has upon him. The clock is on the side of the Falcons. I mean, we're only in the third quarter, so if it stays this way, I can't imagine the Raiders coming back, but there is a lot of time left and a lot of football to be played. But, Tom, I think you're right. Today, without a doubt, Jaden Blue, which I think we expect a game like this out of him every day, but I don't think anybody saw Terrell Prince and the emergence of the third-string quarterback come in. I mean, if you did not know, there's no way you would have thought he was our third-string quarterback. He is throwing beautiful touch passes to the sideline. That was a double-teamed Jaden Blue. He threw a ball with enough with air underneath it to give him to let Jaden Blue get some space. He took that home, and he took it in stride. Good for that young man, number 22, Deuce, making it happen out there. Happy for that young man and all his folks down in Georgia who can't be here. Hope they're watching on Strive. Shout out to all the Atlanta folks. You should be proud of your boy. Tom, there's an actual kick.
There we go.
Tom, we got a touchback.
Go into the end zone for a touchback as Barnard booms this one. And Hun will take over at their own 20-yard line, having to respond to that big-time play, the catch and throw from Prince to Blue.
Tom, I got to imagine Todd Smith right now sensing a change in the momentum shift is probably going to come out. You might see 1 or 2 play-action passes to set up what I would imagine be a big play over the top if they can get one.
The last 2-touchdown deficit that the Raiders faced was against Friendship Collegiate down in D.C. They were able to come back and win that one 20-13. So that amount of poise is going to be necessary for the Raiders to come back into this game. And Chris Renna gets it off the tip and is down at the 45-yard line. Terrell Prince got a beat on the ball, broke towards it, but couldn't corral it. And the deflected pass lands into the hands of Chris Renna for a gain of 30.
Great concentration by Renna there. I couldn't tell if Prince tipped it, but it certainly was battered around a little bit. And lucky the safety, number 21, Tasama Haskins, was there to make a play, or that might have been the counterpunch the Raiders were looking for right there. Screen action pass to number 8.
Screen pass to Brunson, and it will be a gain of about 4.
That might be the first screen pass we've seen, certainly in the second half, maybe even of the game. Not a bad idea, obviously, with the Falcons coming in, seeing a big play, maybe getting a little bit aggressive, and the Raiders trying to take advantage of the opportunity of over-aggressive play and get a gain of 5 yards in that one.
2nd and 5 here for the Raiders, 5.5 to go in the third quarter. Strike Hartz is the lone back in the backfield for the Raiders, and he's going to get it outside zone to the right, up the sideline, and he will be brought down shy of the first down, I believe. And we have a player down for Peddie, and I believe this one is Jaden Blue, but he is getting to his feet right now and seems to be doing okay. That will be a first down, Mike. So 1st and 10 here for the Raiders at the 45-yard line.
You know, they're rolling. They're rolling. I mean, my sense is that big old line, they know they got number 4 strikers in the backfield. That run off to the right, I mean, he's got his lead blockers. There is nothing fancy about it. It's helmet on helmet, man on man, do your job, and they're getting 5 yards or better every time. Got a lot of field open to the left here. You've also got Joshua Henderson lined up tight to the left.
Holly back to pass, looking for Johnson. Prince breaks on it once again, and it is incomplete. So they're going back to the well with that pass play to Kevin Johnson and have not been able to complete it since that second first down catch that we saw in the first half, Mike.
That's, you know, it's got to be a testament to Coach McNeil Parker and the defense, obviously coming in and doing a little halftime adjustment. They got that as often as they felt like it in the first half, but right now, even with the almost the big 30-yard play, but it was still a tip ball, so they're seeing it and adjusting.
Here's Brunson, brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Adam Conyer. An excellent play by the junior linebacker, and we have a flag on the play. We'll see what this is. And we have personal foul against the Peddie Falcons. I don't know what that is. There's no explanation for it. Usually you'll get a face mask or roughing the passer or something that will give you some kind of indication of what the personal foul was. And I'm sure Coach Maleo is going to demand that explanation. Hands to the face is the call.
By number 55, Noel Hijazi, I think is what the ref indicated.
That'll be 15 and an automatic first down for Hun. So another break here for the Raiders on this drive. You have Jaden Blue doing jumping jacks now right beyond the track. Looks like he's getting ready to go back into the game.
Tough time to get a 15-yard penalty here. I don't think the Raiders need any help this drive, but they'll take it. And it looks like they're creeping up on striking distance.
And it could be a great way to respond here for Hun if they're able to get back into the end zone right after that Peddie touchdown. 1st and 10 from the 30. Holly fakes, goes deep to Renna, and incomplete. Renna trying to draw a flag to no avail. So that will bring up 2nd and long for the Hun school.
Keyshawn Farmer was there with Renna stride for stride. Did a great job of turning his head, seeing the ball, and I think that's what avoided the penalty. So I don't know, Tom. I mean, it looks good, and I'm happy to see that that number 7, Patrick Holly's back in full force. Looks like he's slinging the ball around a little bit. Got to be worried about it if you're the Falcons and him connecting. They've been pretty close so far.
And we have another flag. I believe Peddie did draw Hun to commit a false start there. So I don't know, my verbs are really working together there. Usually you draw the defense off sides. But I think some of the blitz showing there spooked some of the Hun linemen, and there was some movement, so they'll go back 5 yards.
Tom, I get what you mean, man. I get what you mean.
Appreciate it.
And you mean what you say.
You're just always there for me.
Yo, and you mean what you say.
2nd and 15 now for the Raiders from the 35. Holly, play fake, back to pass. Looking for Barr. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Barr. Over the outstretched hands of Farmer and into basically the lap of Tom Barr, and he is unable to come up with it. And that will result in 3rd and 15.
You know, Tom, well defended initially by Keyshawn Farmer. I do think, however, he made it early. He mistimed that jump a little bit. I don't know if that was enough to distract the receiver, but I do know there was a great opportunity missed there. It did fall in his lap. He had a chance, touched it. I'm sure he'd want to have that one back.
3rd and 15 for Hun. Holly in the gun, and we might have a timeout coming here for the Raiders. Some miscommunication, and Hun is down to 1 timeout now in the second half as they have had to burn 2 because of some personnel mishaps. So 2nd and 15 now, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. And Hun had a couple breaks here in this drive, but it has seemed to somewhat come to a bit of a halt here with the 3rd and 15. A wide open Tom Barr and a drop pass on the sideline brought it to this point after a false start penalty. So 3rd and 15 now. The ball is going to be on the 40-yard line, and Hun is going to try to get at least half here on 3rd down because this is 4-down territory for them.
Well, if this is the first half, Tom, I would say keep a lookout for that hitch on the sideline to Kevin Johnson. But it's been so well defended, some might even say overly defended. I'd be nervous about a hitch and go. Might score 6 for him, so I'd be careful. Hopefully the safety over the top, Tasama Haskins, is ready for it, even though he just switched over right now. Keep a lookout for it.
Looks like Peddie is going man coverage here. Holly back to pass. He's looking for Johnson and underthrows him by about 4 yards.
Pressure there by number 10, Adam Conyer. Might have had something to do with it. Maybe early toss there. Without that, that might have been a big play.
That'll be 4th and 15 now for Hun. And they are going to keep their offense on the field. They're going to have to get past the sticks. Let's see what kind of pressure Coach Tedeschi dials up here for the Falcons. 2 receivers either side, strike cards in the backfield to block. You have Josh Henderson at the bottom of your screen. Holly back to pass. He's got 6 people rushing. Up in the air, incomplete. A great play there by number 11, Tyron Tucker. And we have a turnover on downs and a flag, which could be a late hit against Peddie.
That would be an unfortunate turn of events here. I think that was a well-defended play. And you are absolutely right, Tom.
And we have roughing the passer, which is an automatic 1st down. It's 15 yards, I'm sorry, not an automatic 1st down, but it was 4th and 15, so it might move the chains either way.
But, Tom, no help needed here. I think, you just had a stalled offense. They were driving. Momentum was on their side, and that could be all that it takes to give them 7 points back potentially.
And let's see if we can find this late hit, and it did come from T.J. Ryan, who could not really – difficult for him to stop his momentum there, and he drove Holly to the ground. I think that might have been what caused the flag to come out, was the fact that he drove him to the ground. So it is a 1st down now, as you said, from a 20-yard line. 2 big breaks here for the Raiders in this drive.
Let's see if they can capitalize. This might be big play of the game here, this series right here. It might come down to right now.
Strike cards, looking for the edge, can't find it. Adam Conyer gets him on the cutback. And it is outstanding how Peddie has completely stopped this Hun rushing attack.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is, Hun does have a big line. They have gotten some pushback, but I think what you just saw there from Adam Conyer is he's filling his roles and responsibilities, filling his gap. So when Striker comes back for the cut, he's there waiting for him, and that made all the difference on that play.
Renna in tight for the Raiders. Holly back to pass, steps up, throws over the middle, and lands in the hands of Kevin Johnson at the 1. And we have a flag. I don't know what that was, but we have a flag at the 1. It looked like some kind of incidental contact that might have been sold a little bit more than it was. But Johnson, again, another ball that's almost intercepted, and Johnson able to come up with it at the 1-yard line. Hun is going to send their big offensive formation to the field to try to punch this in while we take a look at the replay.
Well, while you're drawing it up, I think it's tough there. You see number 5, Johnson, get up a little bit hobbled. You also saw number 22. Oh, wait, Tom. Yet another flag picked up.
Okay, so they picked up the flag. They saw that there was some embellishment there. and they're not going to penalize Peddie. So it'll be 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, and that ball was right in the forehands of 2 Peddie defenders before it went to Johnson.
Yeah,
so
last touch by Terrell Prince. I mean, that's one of those, you wish you just batted that down, but credit to Johnson, his ability to focus and bring it in.
the give to Henderson. Henderson into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. So the Raiders pull to within 1 score after one of the craziest drives I've ever witnessed. 2 15-yard penalties, 2 batted balls that landed in the hands of Hun receivers that were almost intercepted. And Hun now, with 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter and a lifetime left to play in this game, is back on the scoreboard.
You know, Tom, in many ways, you'd expect nothing less this afternoon, right? I mean, with 2 evenly man teams and great personnel, it's going to come down to inches and plays, right? Like a couple more inches, that's an incomplete pass. Batted down, an interception. Instead, it's 7 points, potentially, if this kick's good, for the Raiders, although they're going for 2, so it can't be 7.
The give to Henderson. Henderson finds his way into the back of the end zone. A good cut by Henderson. Great blocking up front from the Raiders. 14-8 now the score. That could be absolutely huge as this game gets to its finish. So Hun, with a little bit of juice and a little bit of momentum, aided by some flags and some wacky plays, nonetheless, down to a 1-score lead for the Falcons.
At Tom, I think we're going to have to pay close attention to how the Falcons respond. I think at times when you know as an athlete how close you were to stopping a drive and making a big play, and yet it ends up being a large play for the other team, what almost always ends up happening is you have a little bit of a deflated sense of where you are right now, because what coulda, woulda, shoulda been now ends up being 7 points, 8 points for the other team. And so how does the offense respond? And we'll see if that has any lingering effects on the offense, or if they can come out, forget about it, and make something happen and get this back up to 2 scores.
And their offense, first of all, needs to secure, or the kickoff return team needs to secure this football first and foremost. Hun has made their money on kickoff with the pooch kick to the 35-yard line. And a lot of times when kids are not coached to just call a fair catch, if it's executed properly, a Hun player can run right underneath it because it goes beyond 10 yards. So we'll see what the Raiders decide to do here. They are not going to kick this deep. It looks like the Peddie coaching staff has everybody in the right spot. So here comes a squib kick, and Barnard is going to field it at the 41-yard line. So perfect scenario here for the Falcons. Good field position. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the 3rd. Still a ton of football left.
Listen, Tom, it's anybody's ball game. As cliche as it sounds, you got 2 great teams with a bunch of firepower. The defenses are coming out here doing their job, but game of football, it only takes 1 or 2 opportunities and capitalize on them to turn the tide. And obviously we just saw it right there. 2 different opportunities, but also help with penalties from the Falcons to keep that drive alive. And the Falcons can either come back, but if they get a 3 and out right here, next thing you know, Hun's up, and they can walk away with this ball game. So big moment now, and another quarter to go.
Oh, Prince in the gun. He's got 3 receivers to his right, Farmer right behind him. And the pass to Blue. Blue catches it at the line of scrimmage and gets out of bounds at the 45-yard line for a gain of 4 on 1st down. So not the best assist there from Prince, but Blue does a nice job with it. And I believe we have a flag. I don't see the flag. It's on the field. It exists.
I think we're going to have a number 11, Ty Tucker.
A holding penalty against the Falcons. And the one thing that I just don't want, Mike, is I don't want, if this is kind of like a last-minute type of game, I don't want a flag to really decide what happens in this game. And, it's trending that way, which is not great.
Yeah,
so,
but at least the one thing we can argue is they're clearly getting their trap workout, throwing, the flag for both sides.
Exactly.
Which I appreciate. You never want the refs to dictate, but if they are, at least call it even, and there's clearly no favoritism out here.
Great defense there by the Raiders. Chris Fake loses his helmet in pursuit. It started with excellent defense by Tucker Strikards, who sealed the edge, and Chris Fake came and just unloaded on Keyshawn Farmer, losing his helmet in the process. So a good defensive play moves the Falcons back even further. So it'll be 2nd and 21 for Peddie.
Yep, at this point, I think you are not worried about where the markers are. You just know where the first down is. And you know you've got a couple plays to try to get there. You don't have to get it all back in one chunk. And let's see if they can make the magic happen. If anybody can, Maleo can. I know that.
Totally agree with you.
Speaking of Maleo, shout out to Ashley Maleo, now the head manager of the Philadelphia 76 Dancers. She could not be here today because the Sixers had a game, but I'm sure she's watching the stream right now. We hope the Sixers got the win just like the Falcons will today. Shout out to you, Ashley. Behind every great man's a great wife.
She's actually on a helicopter right now, headed to Schumann.
I believe it.
I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but she is en route after coaching up her gals on the dance floor and ready to support her man.
As she always does.
Second and about 30. Pass complete to Barnard. And it's more technically that was 26. But the play is made by Malcolm Brunson on the outside, assisted by Chris Fake. And it is 3rd and long now for Peddie.
You know, Tom, I got to imagine the last thing the Falcons want right now is to give this ball back to the Raiders, given that they just had the momentum swinging. So I think a couple plays here to get a first down is what they're going to go for. Let's see what Maleo can draw up. I bet he gets halfback right here, possibly with that inside toss pass. They haven't inside toss handoff. They haven't done to Keyshawn much.
You're right. They have gone. They've gone away from that. You know what? I think some things are working that they didn't really expect to work. So he kind of fell in love with that instead of finding a way to get Keyshawn the football. So we'll see. It is 3rd and about 22. Prince back to pass. And he's going to keep it, and he'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Chris Fake, who just had a fantastic series of football there, probably the best in his career. And he saved it for a pretty opportune time. So it'll be 4th and long here for the Falcons. And Zach Barnard will have to punt this one away.
You know, Tom, I think in games like this, big stage, what you hope for is that your big players are going to make big plays. Obviously, on the Falcons side, we've seen Jaden Blue come through, surprised by Terrell Prince. But right now, I mean, Fake's having a game of his life. But guess what? This is the day to have it, and he's showing up, and there's something to be said about a kid who can perform when you expect him to.
Peddie still with a 6-point lead over the Raiders. And the kick is a good one.
Tom,
from
it's
Barnard.
a punt.
It's a beautiful one, and this will go out of bounds. And let's see where they mark it. It should be around the 35-yard line. And he keeps going about the 36 of the Raiders. So a great kick from Barnard, giving Hun not ideal field possession here against the Peddie defense. That's been excellent. So
well, if he's going to save one in his leg for the game, that was a great time to have it come through.
there you go. He booted the last one, out of the end zone as well. So looks like his leg is feeling pretty good. Now, I think it's essential for this Peddie defense to understand how ludicrous the last drive was in terms of the 2 batted balls that led to those receptions, because they were right there every single time, and they had the 30 yards in penalties. So a little bit more disciplined approach here. They should be able to continue the success that they had in the first half.
You would think
and
so.
The majority of the third quarter.
You would think so. The trouble is, it's hard for those plays, while they could have gone your way, to not break your spirit. So it's going to be a tough thing to do. But if any guys can do it, this defensive line is going to be the front push. And they've got some veteran athletes in the back that can sort of have a short memory, forget about it, and pull through.
And, Mike, the stands are filled now. So there's some spillover from the other games. It seems like everybody is pretty much finished aside from JV field hockey. And the stands are completely packed, so you can start to hear now both sides going back and forth. And this is really what football is all about. When you have 2 kind of local teams going at it and both fan bases cheering, excited, fired up for football, it's kind of a great atmosphere here.
Well, that's a great thing about it. We got a big play coming on the left-hand side.
And a great catch from Chris Renna. What a grab by the senior. A tremendous throw from Pat Holly as he was escaping pressure, and an even better catch from Chris Renna to corral that one basically right in front of us. A great play and a big first down for the Raiders, as we'll take another look. And look at Adam Conyer, who is about a half a second away from coming up with the sack here, as Holly does just a great job squaring his shoulders to Renna, and Renna being able to pull that one in was pretty incredible. So a great play for Hun. That's a second first down reception there by Chris Renna. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line.
And I don't know if you saw it there, Tom, but I'm impressed with number 5, Kevin Johnson. Oftentimes when you're judging a football player, any athlete, it's what you do off the ball. And clearly he ran up the sideline, which opened up the ability to have that route cut under it, which had it wide open. Had he not gone hard, I'm not sure Chris Renner would have been open for that catch. So great catch by Renner, but great route by Kevin Johnson results in a big play and another first down for the Raiders, and let's see if this momentum keeps going or if the Falcons can get a stop.
It's a great point there. It's a great point. Not many receivers are kind of selfless enough to run their routes at 100% when they know the ball's not coming to them. So, like you said, it did open it up for Renna and converted. So, 49-yard line of the Falcons is where the Raiders will start the 4th quarter with the football, 1st and 10, and a lot of momentum. Strike cards and fake in the backfield for Hun. The give is to strike cards. Makes a move down the left sideline, reaches out to try to pull beyond the chains, and he does. So it is a first down run for the Hun school. Again, nothing really working in between the tackles. So Hun is trying to get the ball in the air and to the outside. They were able to do so there on first down. So he did not get the first down. It'll be 2nd and inches.
Tommy, you excited about being where we are right now at this point in the game, 4th quarter, 5 seconds in, 14-8 game?
I am, and I'd love to see a little bit of back and forth here, selfishly. And here is Brunson with a first down carry, about 3 yards up the middle. And we have flags underneath, some stuff going on in the pile, and this is what you don't want to see.
No, I think at this point, and again, when we talked about at the beginning of the game, we knew, there were going to be jabs thrown in the 4th quarter, the 1st quarter. But now in the 4th quarter, you get a little fatigue setting in. You've been going up against the guy across from you all game, and now you're getting a little bit annoyed by little things, and all of a sudden now it gets chippy. And what you don't want is to have this game decided by a play that has nothing to do with the game of football.
We'll see. It could be offsetting penalties here. The first one is going to be a personal foul against the Falcons, and it will not be offsetting penalties. So 15 yards against the Falcons. That's 15 more yards for the Raiders.
And 15 more yards you do not want to hand over if you are the Falcons. And right now, the Raiders, at least for the last 5-6 minutes, have not needed any help on offense. But the Falcons are still doing it anyway. And now they're going to have they have a 1st and goal situation. Now they're going to have an opportunity for a first down, looks like, Tom. Is that right?
It is a first down. So 1st and 10 now from the 20. And, Peddie just can't afford to make these penalties at this stage in the game. And the give to Henderson. Henderson brought down at the line of scrimmage. Terrell Prince, incredibly disciplined. Very impressed with him on both sides of the football today. He's a baller.
He is. He's a gamer. I told you, he's not going to blow you away with this blazing speed, but he's got a great game IQ. He's got a great sense of the game. He's a natural for it. And anytime you can make a tackle in open field, right there, if Joshua breaks that tackle, he's going to the left for a big gain and maybe even a touchdown.
2nd and 9 now for the Hun School. In a game that has been largely dominated by Peddie. 11 minutes remain in this contest, which could determine the Maple Championship. Give to Strykards. Lowers his head, barrels his way towards the first down marker, a gain of about 7.
Taken down by safety Tasama Haskins up from Georgia. Great tackle there. Let me tell you something. Strykards is going in right now. He's got his head down. He's just trying to get what he can, and he's putting his body out there on the line. But that young man's got to pick his helmet up. We do not need to have any unfortunate injuries out there. You got to run head up, but you know what? He's giving it all he has.
Strykards from Virginia didn't really get to play much offense on his team last year. Is excited to be able to get the ball in his hands a lot this year. And a snap here from C.J. Williams as he noticed a Peddie defender across the line of scrimmage. We'll see what the call is here. So you're taught as a center, if you see them break the line of scrimmage, to snap the football. And there's going to be no penalty here. So they're just going to call that a fumble and a loss of 2 yards. So that will bring up 3rd and 5 now for the Raiders.
Fortunate there.
4th and 5, I believe. 4th and 5.
Went down with the awkward fall. I'm happy to see the young man's okay. Good try. Let's see what they can get done on 4th down. Big play here, Tom. How you feeling?
I think we're going to see a timeout before the play comes.
It's going to be the last one of the game.
If this is a timeout for Hun, it is their final timeout, and it is. So 10 minutes to go in this game, and 10 minutes is, I don't know, it seems like 10 minutes is, it seems like there's like 30 seconds left in the game, but you look at the clock and there's still 10 minutes left.
Well, I think it's been a heavy, old-fashioned, ground and pound kind of game, and so in many ways I think even though you're right, you got 10 minutes left, I think with the fourth down here, it's a difference of if Hun can get it, then I think it's a well-used timeout. But if they can't pick it up, then I think what ends up happening here is you have an opportunity for the Falcons to just potentially run down the clock. If not all the way, a couple of first downs, at the very least make it very difficult if you give up some tough position to make a comeback.
Would you say this, I don't know if this play is going to really determine the outcome of this game. It obviously a big play, but I'm not sure that.
I say a lot's riding on it. If they get it, it's a big deal. But it's even bigger deal if they don't. Because I think then the Falcons have an opportunity to run down the clock.
All right, so let's see it. Two receivers to either side. Holly in the gun. Malcolm Brunson in the backfield for the Raiders.
Here we go, Tom. That's why you came to the field, baby.
Henderson in motion. Holly rolls to his right, looks back, wide open. Fred Hansard into the end zone. An eligible receiver, and then we have two flags on the play. I'm not sure that was kosher. We'll see if this one stands. But Fred Hansard with the reception and the touchdown. We're going to take a look at the replay here. Hansard was the last man on the line of scrimmage. I don't know if they declared him eligible.
Yep,
Catches the pass and barrels into the end zone, but we'll see what the call is. We've got two flags from the umpire and I believe the line judge, and we'll see if this one stands.
Well, Tom, that might come down to communication.
It is a touchdown. Unbelievable play and a personal foul against the Falcons and the Raiders after that play. Those penalties offset. We have a tie ball game here at Schumann Field. You got to be kidding me with that play.
But, Tom, you know it's going to come down to something like that, man. Everybody, look, you know Coach Maleo's got a couple bullets left in his gun. And you knew at that point Coach Smith was going to come up with whatever he had. That's the big moment. You call a big play. They executed. You tip your cap, come back, and try to make something happen if you're the Falcons.
All right, so tie game here. Let's see what Hun decides to do with their extra point. It looks like they're going to try to kick it here.
Well, no sure thing on that front end, Tom.
Ryan Casper with a lead hanging in the balance here for the Raiders. 9:46 to go here in the fourth quarter. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is good. So Hun takes a 15-14 lead here early in the fourth quarter. And Mike, most important thing for Peddie to understand is that you have 3 timeouts left. 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Hun has 0 timeouts left. Peddie dominated this game for 2.5 quarters. They have the capability of doing so again. So cannot let this momentum get to him here in this stage of the game.
Yep, I mean, I think you got to tip your cap off to the Hun Raiders. They certainly got a lot of help from the Falcons, but at the end of the day, you still have to be able to execute, make plays. But Tom, I think you're absolutely right. This much time and 3 timeouts, the clock is by no means a factor. But at the end of the day, I think the Falcons got to get back to what works, take it one play at a time. You might want to start running Keyshawn Farmer in between the tackles. Once again, I think if it was working in the fourth quarter, there's no reason why it shouldn't work in the first. I mean, if it worked in the first, why it wouldn't work in the fourth? Tom, you know what I mean, and I mean what I say.
I got it. Hey, I'm with you every step of the way.
Way to get my back in that one.
I still can't believe a left tackle scored a touchdown just 20 seconds ago.
You know, again, late in the game, mental error. If he made himself eligible, if you're on that side of defense, you got to know.
This one will go out of bounds, and I believe Peddie will take over at the 45. They might have him do it again. We'll see what Coach Maleo decides here.
Well, you would get the yardage, wouldn't you?
Well, it's either at the 35 or they have to kick it again.
So you can, so be clear, you cannot take it where it is there?
No. I don't believe so.
Tom, I think they changed. They might have modified the rule there for you.
Ball is spotted at the 30-yard line.
Okay, so they're going to get it at the spot of I stand corrected.
You know what they just did there? They split the difference on you, Tom.
They did, and now I'm embarrassed,
Listen,
but it's okay.
but guess what? You were one up already on the rule book. You had the plus 15 with the minus 10. Simple math, you killed it. They had the 5 yards earlier. Playing with house money, now you're even.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Falcons from their own 42-yard line. Prince, the give to Farmer. Here he goes. Keyshawn Farmer with a good gain on 1st down. Fumble is picked up by Barnard, and Hun has been clawing away at that football as Farmer has proven to be a little bit careless with it, but a gain of 5 yards on 1st down is a good one for the Falcons.
Yeah, Tom, I would say Keyshawn, a bit uncharacteristic of him to sort of give up the biscuit a little early in the game. I think that is the one thing you cannot have here, because even though Hun has no timeouts left, if you give them the ball, they will cut this clock in half on you, and you do not want to make it any more difficult than you need to for yourself right now. But at the end of the day, positive gain, 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5 from the 46. Prince, the give to Farmer. Farmer brought down by Chris Sumners. In the backfield, a loss of 2.
Tom, just watching the Hun Raiders defense, it looks like they're basically saying anybody but Keyshawn's going to beat us right now. They're putting a bunch of guys in the box. If you look over on the right-hand hash, Kevin Johnson's dropping 10 yards off that receiver out there. And so I think they're basically daring the Peddie Falcons to have Terrell Prince in his arm. If they're going to lose this game, they're going to make Terrell Prince beat them and not Keyshawn Farmer.
All right, so 3rd and 6 now. 3rd and about 6.5 for the Falcons.
Kevin Johnson drops back once again.
Jaden Blue in orbit motion. He's going to get it. He's going to look to throw. Eludes a defender, is going to get about 3 yards on the play to sort of make something out of nothing there, and this will make it 4th and 3. So a little trickery attempt there from Chris Maleo, and Blue goes out of bounds. It'll create a 4th and 4 situation here, and it looks like the punt team is coming onto the field. As we said, now 8 minutes to go, 3 timeouts left. No need to rush here. Go for it. Take the risk of turning it over on downs and giving Hunt great field position. Better to get Barnard, who's been kicking the ball pretty well recently, to get one off.
Yes, second half Barnard kicking has been phenomenal, about as phenomenal as the first half was atrocious.
And a bad snap.
But Barnard
Barnard's-
comes through.
He's able to give this
Look
one
at
a
that.
nice looking boot that rests and nestles at
Tom,
the
that's almost
9-yard
a
line.
coffin kick.
That's
okay?
a gorgeous punt by the defensive end of the Peddie Falcons. So great job there by Barnard. Hun with poor field position here. And let's see if Peddie can get through one of these defensive series without a major penalty.
Tom, I think you got it right, exactly right there. It's not so much the defense. They're playing great defense, and they're getting a couple close plays that they could have had go either way. But if they keep giving up 15, 30 yards per drive and bailing out the Raiders whenever they stall, then it's going to be another couple points on the board. If they can stay clean and disciplined, I think the Falcons get the ball back with plenty of time to make something happen.
Farmer is out of the game for the time being, as it looks like he will be taking this defensive series off, getting as healthy as he possibly can for the offensive series. The give to Henderson. Henderson's got some space off the left side. He's got a 1st down and more. Brought down at the 29-yard line. A great run for Henderson on 1st down.
Henderson's a great dual threat. He's a pretty big back. If he's back there getting handoff, get some momentum, it's pretty tough to take him down. He just showed it right there.
Oh, it looks like we might have a flag to bring the Raiders back now. Haven't seen a signal from the referee. Here it comes. Holding against the Hun School. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Well, he might have had that incredible run based off the hole. We didn't see it too closely, but I got to say that's a pretty big misfortunate play for the Raiders, but the Falcons are not complaining. They've given them enough help. They don't mind getting some back their way.
Peddie fans on the fence now, getting behind their team. 1st and 14 for the Raiders. 3 backs. And the give is to Strike Cards, who gets a gain of about 4 to get back to the original line of scrimmage. 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Hun with a 1-point lead. All of their points scored in the second half. Peddie went into halftime with a 7-0 lead, built a 14-0 lead off of a 52-yard bomb from Terrell Prince to Jaden Blue for the touchdown.
Then 15 unanswered points from the Raiders, and it all comes down to this.
And here comes Brunson, who's knocked out of bounds after a gain of about 5. So this will bring up a 3rd and 5 from the 14-yard line of the Raiders.
Credit Todd Smith and the Hun Raider offense to make it 3rd and manageable after having that big play called back from
Henderson.
running back Henderson. That's right. Thank you. See, Tom's always got my back. Get 3rd and manageable right here. They can either burn some more clock, or the Falcons might have it back with some good field position, depending on the outcome of this play.
And although, okay, if they were going to show up, and I was gonna guess the play, Mike, but they didn't. So
Okay.
2 receivers to either side. Holly in the gun, 3rd and 5. Holly back to pass, finds. I believe that is Tom Barr for the reception, and it is right at the 1st down marker.
Yeah,
so let's see where they spot him.
I think momentum got him to the 1st down.
And they are going to move the chains. So a 1st down, as you said, forward progress. A good toss and catch there from Pat Holly to Tom Barr, who was the backup quarterback late in that 1st half. So a 1st down for the Raiders.
Great tackle by the Falcons. Credit to Barr in that one. Simple play, but looking it in, knowing when somebody's coming down and taking a hit and holding it is a great play on his part.
And another 1st down run from Henderson. This one could be coming back.
Not too quickly, Tom. There was another flag out there. They're working on those traps, man. They're throwing them in the air. Like I say, let these boys play.
And looks like this one is coming back. Let's see here. Personal foul, face mask against the defense. So this will be for the Hun School.
So, Tom, just wondering, just being the casual fan and coming in the box, is there a maximum number of times in which a referee can throw a flag? If there is, I think we are approaching it at this point in time.
Yeah, that would be every play of the game. I think that's probably the maximum.
But is there a cap? So I'm just wondering have they reached their limit? If there's a limit, we must be close.
42 penalties in today's game combined. Coach Matt Maleo, the brother of Chris Maleo, doing a great job getting the team back on the sidelines. 3 backs in the backfield for the Raiders, 1st and 10 on the 45. The give is to Strike Cards. Strike Cards with a little bit of room to run, another flag, a 1st down run, and we'll see what this one is.
Tom, regardless of the flag, I think what we're seeing here, these same plays during the 1st quarter for both teams were resulting in no gains, a lot of sort of helmet-on-helmet action. But as the war of attrition goes in, I think it's taking a toll, and now you're seeing bigger plays happen play after play.
And that will be a hold against the Hun School. 6 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. It will be 1st and close to 20.
I'm telling you, Tom, fatigue makes cowards out of us all, and that's what's going on here. You go out there, you try to cut corners when you get tired. So you got big plays on one end, and then you got holds on the other. But it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. I have no idea what's going to happen here, and I'm excited with 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter that we're still watching this game.
1st and 21. The give to Henderson. Henderson dives for a gain of about 6. So it will be 2nd and 14 now for the Hun School. Clock ticking under 6 minutes. Again, 3 timeouts left for the Falcons, no timeouts left for the Raiders. Hun going back to that 3-back system in the backfield. The deep back is Streichhardt. He's going to get it again. And he's going to find some space, a first down and more for the Raiders. Down at the 40-yard line goes Streichhardt. And they found something there with those 2 fullbacks, Chris Fake and Chris Sumners. And Streichhardt's at tail. Streichhardt shaken up on the play, needs a little bit of a breather, so he will exit the game. And I believe either Henderson or Brunson will relieve him.
You know, Tom, again, just like it was on Jaden Blue's back and Terrell Prince on the Falcon side, I think what you're seeing right now, right there, with whether it's Fake coming or Streichhardt's coming, they're leaving it all out there. And you got to appreciate the effort on both sides today.
Brunson, the deep back. He gets it. Met immediately at the line of scrimmage, taken down after a 1-yard gain. 2-yard gain, we'll call it.
That was a big tackle by number 42, Tyler Tedeschi, but at the same time, he looks a little bit shaken up. He's the kind of guy that's going to try to fight through that, but big play for the stop right there.
Tyler Tedeschi.
That's what he does.
Great game so far here today. Henderson, the deep back for the Raiders, and Hun is ticking as much time off this clock as they possibly can. Holly under center, the give to Henderson. Henderson dances to the outside, cuts up the field for a gain of about 6. And now the Raiders offense is gaining momentum on the ground, something that they were not able to do this entire game.
Well, it gets tough because when you're trying to win that war up front, what ends up happening oftentimes is you leave the sides a little bit open, and all of a sudden you bounce that one play, and that's what he's picking up every time.
And we have some clock issues here on the scoreboard in comparison to what the referees are having here. So that was not a first down. I believe the clock operator thought it was a first down. So we will fix this here. Third and 1 for the Raiders. The give to Streichhardt. Streichhardt gets the first down and more. Garrett, Conyer ripping at the football, and it will be blown dead at the 10-yard line for the Raiders.
Big push there, Tom. Big push there. Another first down results in burning off some more time off the clock, but I think the Falcons at this point are worried about making sure they keep the score the same right now and getting the ball back as much time as possible. So while you don't want to watch the clock go down, you also don't want to give up another 6.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 12. Now, the clock gets under 3 minutes. Coach Maleo might think about taking one of his 3 timeouts. Brunson off to the left side. We have 2 flags in on the play. And this one might be coming back. This will be a personal foul against the Falcons.
Come on, Tom. Seriously?
Hands to the face, it looks like. I'm not really sure. So that'll be 15 towards the end zone. And that's another 15 against Peddie.
Well, give the Raiders the credit. They've had 2 holding plays on this drive, set them back in a hole, and they've overcome those. But at this point right now, it's probably the worst possible time to have a personal foul if you're the Falcons. Tom, you called it.
Oh, so that's half the distance to the goal, actually, because it's within the 15-yard line. So the ball will be placed at the 6, and it'll be first and about 4. They can still get a first down before a touchdown. Henderson trying to take it outside, and he is brought down near the first down marker. And I think he's just short, so it'll be 2nd and 1, 2nd and less than a yard. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in today's game.
Tom, if I'm Todd Smith right here, I'm thinking about dialing up a little trickery play, a little play action. You know the guy's going to be deep in the box trying to stop the push. Perfect time to have a little play action pass, a little dump pass over the top to see if the Falcons are ready for it.
Well, we'll see. There are 3 backs in the backfield once again. Diaz and Fonte at tight end. The give to Strikehardt. Strikehardt with a move up the middle. He gets the first down, not into the end zone. So they will move the chains.
Got to dig deep here now if you're the Falcons.
I believe they will move the chains. I don't know if they actually, we'll see what's going on here. Maybe a measurement is upcoming.
No, these refs don't measure, Tom. They don't get the extra reps in. They're working on the traps with the flags, but they're not trying to do legs. They skip leg day out here.
All right, so
Oh,
we will come out
Repping
for
it.
the measurement. 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go here in the 4th.
once again, I stand corrected, Tom.
And that is a clear first down. So that'll be 1st and goal from the 2 now for the Hun School, up 15-14 here in the 4th quarter.
You know what, Tom? If I know Coach Chris Maleo right now, he's excited, saying to himself, we got him right where we want him.
All they have to do is keep it to a 1-possession game if Hun is to score here, and they have every opportunity to come back with 3 timeouts left and make a run for it.
Well, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, Tom, but if they pick up the 6, that gets them to 21. They just try to kick it there and pick up the 1 and stay up 1. I mean, they've already got one. They did have one PAT made, which most of the time in high school football that's what you go for. But given the kicking game we've seen out here, I can't say that's a guarantee.
Yeah, no, they'll probably go for the 22-14 lead. So they'll probably just go for 1 and then force Peddie to have to go for 2.
Okay. They've already got one kick in there, though, Tom. I mean, they don't have a Zach Barnard on their squad.
They don't.
You know?
They don't. Last timeout, or first timeout taken by Peddie. As we said, 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go.
Which essentially turns it into 2 timeouts with the 2-minute warning coming after that. So just trying to keep it 2 minutes regardless of how this plays out. Might be a great time for a goal line stand. And leave the Falcons with maybe a minute left to go.
Holly under center, Brunson, the deep back. Chris Sumners, Chris Fake, both in at fullback for the Raiders. The give to Brunson. Brunson into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. So here it comes, the decision. Hun goes up 21-14. Do they go for 1 or do they go for 2?
Tom, whatever I say will be the opposite. So I want you to call it first. You
It looks like they're going to go for 2. And here is the replay. I believe, Peddie might have been instructed to just let him score. With 2 minutes to go here, 2 timeouts, just so they have as much time as possible to come back here. They are going to go for 2. Same exact formation that has given them so much success here in the second half.
Got to imagine it's going to be a handoff to Strikehardt.
Strikehardt with the handoff, and we have a penalty flag on the play, and he fights his way into the end zone. We'll see what the flag is. It was in an area that could potentially be face mask, could be a hold. No surprise there's a flag on this play. We'll just see what it is.
Tom, I got to tell you, we're going for 50 on flags. 50 flags.
we'll see what kind of progress they gave the Shrikehearts if they blew it dead before he got into the end zone. Still waiting for a call here from the official. Hun is celebrating as if it is a converted two-point conversion, and it is. And that makes this a two-possession game. 23 to 14. Now the score. So Hun up 9. Peddie needs to score a touchdown and get another score with 2 minutes to go and 2 timeouts left.
It's a lot of work left to get done, Tom. It's not over yet, but it's a lot of work.
And the face mask penalty will move the Raiders all the way up to the Falcon 45-yard line.
So, Tom, I know you already mentioned it once before when they were about to kick, that they've mastered that pooch kick. I think right now the Falcons still have some work. I think Zach Barnard should be prepared to scoop it up and take a knee or try to break one if he can.
Kick from Casper is a high one that will go out of bounds. That's just like, don't get it. Whatever. See what Peddie decides to go with here. I think they will get the ball now, or they will. I think they're going to make them kick it again here. So they'll go back to the 50-yard line, and we'll do this all over.
You know, Tom, I think in this drive, what you're going to see is you're going to see Pettie's best against the Raiders' best. I'm assuming you're going to have Terrell Prince tossing it up to Jaden Blue a few times. You're probably going to have him double coverage like you did in the first half. And it's going to be an athlete-on-athlete play and see what we can make happen.
And another kick that goes directly out of bounds. Some frustration here regarding the kicking game for the Raiders.
Understandable. Tom thought the beat was going to come from me.
2 minutes and 3 seconds to go here. And we got a kick coming from the 45-yard line. So Peddie was able to gain 10 yards back on their 15-yard penalty based on 2 out-of-bounds kicks.
There goes Tom, a.k.a. Mono, with the simple math, killing it every time, coming right back in right here.
Casper to kick it away. Here we go. And this one is caught by number 21, Tasama Haskins.
Baby. Sure hands they come.
And Peddie will take over on the, looks like 45-yard line. Or I'm sorry, 43-yard line.
See if we can get Georgia's finest, Terrell Prince, to come in and make some magic happen. Jaden Blue trying to make something happen.
Mike, how do you feel about that chant? I got to tell you, not a fan. Here comes Terrell Prince, going to throw it down the sideline. He has an open Jaden Blue, incomplete.
You know, I'm all right off of that one.
Okay.
I'm all right off of that one.
All right. Yeah, I just feel like it's been used a ton.
Yeah, you know, I do a little fan education every Wednesday. I try to get in there, community meeting. You know,
That's
I have
amazing.
the guys. This weekend it was, you know, cheer for us, not against them. We were at the Lawrenceville game, and
Yep.
you know, our fans are 30 strong, and they started cheering, "This is our house."
Okay.
I was tickled by it a little bit, but I think that's not the right move. You don't want to wake up a sleeping dragon, so I think.
Maybe not. I always loved that move, though, when I was a student.
You know, at time you would. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of guy you are. But around here, we try to keep it. Oh, no, that's not what you want.
Prince fumbles the football, and it is recovered by the Raiders. I don't know what Terrell Prince was thinking there as he was standing upright and almost gave up on the play.
You know, they had him by the ankle. He was standing there.
I don't know if he was waiting for a whistle or what, but
maybe thinking momentum was going to, you know, forward progress was going to be halted, but he stood right up, took a hit. He's hurting right now. as the rest of the Falcons, because that might have just wrapped it up here for the Hun Raiders.
If the Raiders are able to pull this one out, that'll be 19 wins in a row for this Hun football program.
You know, tough battle out here for both squads. I think they left it out on the field. You know, we wanted a big game today, and sometimes the big marquee matchups don't show up. But I don't know how you feel, Tom, but I know for me, despite the outcome here, I think it was a great game to be a part of and watch.
It was a tremendous game, and you got to give a ton of credit to the Hun school coming back from a 14-point deficit, but you got to give a ton of credit to Peddie dealing with the amount of injuries that they've dealt with all season long, and to come out with this performance. Their third-string quarterback, Terrell Prince, can't say enough about him, had such an excellent game as a leader, as a quarterback, with some great throws, made some big-time plays. Their defense was outstanding. I do think at the end of the game, as we kept talking about and using the word attrition, I do feel like that kind of played a role here in this second half, as you started to see some penalties and some missed plays here by that Peddie defensive line, and it just did not end up in their favor today. But you cannot fault the effort of this Peddie team. This was a really, really hard-fought game.
I mean, Tom, you're absolutely right. Anytime you're down 3 high-end Division I players, I don't care what team you are in this country, that's going to be a huge loss. But credit to the Falcons coming out, you're right, being creative and giving it their best shot. I think, you know, Coach Maleo and the rest of the staff try to make it happen. And you know what? Like we said earlier before, I look forward to this game exactly the same time next year as I do for years to come. But hats off to the Hun Raiders. They came and got it done. And great effort from the Falcons.
And for the third year in a row, the Hun Raiders have clinched at least a share of the Maple Championship. A great game coming back from down 14, and the Raiders will take this one 23-14. What a battle here at Maurice P. Schumann Field. 2 great football teams, 2 teams that deserve to win. But unfortunately, only one can win, and that victory today goes to the Raiders. Mike, pleasure today. You are fantastic. I'll see you soon, hopefully. And for everybody here at the Peddie School, everybody here at Strive helping us out with this broadcast, and for Mike Agosto, I'm Tom Monfiletto. We'll see you next time here on Strive.
Thanks for having me, Tom. Pleasure.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, everyone.